go. Unexpected victorious.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wargaming.net League Season 2. I'm going to be your host for today, Jordi Versmes, and on my left I have the ever so lovely Mihailo Jugovic joining us for this
Legendary, mate. You heard the Facebook. Legendary.
Legendary. Best rest.
Best rest of them all.
King Mihailo.
Thank you very much. Lovely introduction from you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No problem.
Don't ever expect it to happen again, though.
You can keep on.
No, you wish. Instead, Mojo, let's talk about this week and what it's going to mean.
Okay, about the tanks. Well, it's gonna mean quite a lot for some guys because we are gonna get patched next week. So this is the last week they can use the normal strats they use so far. And some of them need those points so badly, and even more than that, I would say.
Yeah, Mojo, talking about those points, I think we should look at the standings and guide us through it because we're seeing a little bit of a separation here between a few groups, aren't we?
Well, this is the first group. We can say Gohar, Kazna and Ding are separating themselves slowly, but there can be only two places, not one this time. So two places that automatically qualify to season finals. So we expect quite a struggle there. We can see Utopia and Oops are somewhere there in mid-table. It's going to be really hard for them to catch up to this group, honestly. And the Suba and Gunrunners at the moment are fighting who will be in top 6 at least, because 7th guy will not be the part. He will have to play the relegations.
And don't forget, even the 7th place team can play a pretty big factor into who makes it into the playoffs even. Yeah, that depends. And who gets automatically qualified.
Absolutely. And interesting things happened last week. We saw Gunrunners win. Oops. Like those guys are full of surprises. But not so well things happened for all of the other teams there because, yeah, Utopia actually managed to lose to Oops.
Yeah, Oops did good though last season. I mean, they picked up 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
they lost against Gunrunners.
But it was unexpected loss against Gunrunners, and no one knew who would win Oops and Utopia. Both teams playing really aggressive, but really shaky this season. Like often just letting go some games you will think they already won.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need those points even more. That's going to be the story. But let's go back to today and the matches that we're going to be playing on Mojo. You already touched on it a little bit. First up, it is Gunrunners versus Ding. More about that when we get to it. But Suba versus Utopia. What do we think both these teams can do in that one?
Well, honestly, the last match actually between Gunrunners and Ding was won by Gunrunners unexpectedly 5-3. That was a shocker of a season, I would say even. And I can't even say it was Ding bad playing or something. Gunrunners were actually playing that day really well. But then they went to their old habit, so up and down, up and down. As Suba is on a losing streak, 4 games in a row lost, Utopia 3. But Utopia had much closer games with some of the tiebreakers against really strong teams, while Suba was just crashing down all over the place.
That is indeed true, and I don't want to forget to remind you guys to head over to Fantasy, Mojo, because live... what was it again? fantasy.eslgaming.com before I got that completely wrong. There we go, I did it. Congratulations. Well, thanks. You can join up there and you can beat me, Mojo, or Ryan. Currently beating Mojo and Ryan, me, that is.
Him hardest at the moment, then Ryan, then me. I'm like a nice guy so far.
Nice guy. He likes giving things, but that's okay.
I'm trying to work on that, you know.
Now, Mojo, we're in a little bit later of the season here. We saw Gunrunners beat Ding already once, right? That's fair to say. They already did it. They did the upset. Now, the two questions here. Can they do it again? And it should influence the fact that it's later on in the season. Ding should be getting better towards the end of the season. The more they adapt, the more they get to know the teams.
When we compare this team, Ding is definitely getting much better lately. Gunrunners have really on and off matches. They won total of 3 matches so far. That's not really a big deal. And yes, they won them against the good teams, but still, you cannot say they're very confident. They're really erratic how they're playing all the time. Like one day they play with some innovative tactics that actually works. Other day they are just getting wrecked. In my eyes, honestly, this result will go like 5-2 to Ding.
Okay. Now, Mojo, let's take a look at the Gunrunners players and tell me who so far has been their standout player? Because they have those one or two players, right?
Well, of course, of these guys here, we can say Enrico in some moments really stood out. Angie, of course, he is the most skillful player, I would say. Sigo had some interesting games on those lights and Arti, I would say. And of course, Dani, I don't know, like he's a meme master here, more or less. Like I cannot ever forget the moments with his TDs when he misses a person.
Yeah, but don't forget about his M53 one-shots as well against
As Arti player, he is really great.
Yeah, that's
really great.
That's the question I was going to ask you as well. Dani plays the tier 9 RDs. He doesn't really play those tier 8 RDs. Every time they play with a tier 8 RD, it is Sigo playing. Now, what is the reason for that, you think? Dani just wants to play tier 10 tanks, or he just doesn't feel as good on the M40?
I think Dani just likes bigger guns, because he always plays some massive TDs, biggest RTs and things like that. And I really don't know what is behind it. I will not go into Freud psychology. I really don't understand that part of the, material. But apparently in artists, he's doing really well.
Yeah, he is doing
really well. Good connections, timely connections and everything. But on those TDs, it's like flipping a coin. You never know. Maybe he will connect, maybe not. Like I've seen him connect some really weird stuff. Also, I don't know, bouncing attacks 2 meters away of a guy with 420 pen of Jack Panzer, missing that zone 10 meters away.
Twice.
Yes, and, with FVTD, such weird connections. So, yeah, with Dani, you never know. But that's, I guess, his treat, because no one else knows, even the other team. So you get something from him.
Dani's always like the last guy to ready up. You just don't know what he's going to bring. Well, I kind of see it in the chat, but still. It's like always, Dani, he's going to bring something. He promised us 2 Yak Panzers today. I do want to say that he promises that, so we're going to see if he keeps to his words.
I don't know, did he promise that directly? He said there will be more than one, but he didn't say what.
Maybe. But let's get back on track and let's take a look at their opponents. Ding. Current still European champions, having a rocky season though.
Yes, compared to the last season, this is not even close, you can say. I mean, unbeaten last season with maybe 2 tiebreakers, but this season they're actually second at the moment with 22 points and not even close overall victory ratio like in last season. Like this season, their victory ratio is 58. Last was like something like 75. That's quite a difference. Of these players, the new guy in the team we can say is Ilian, because he joined them from Kazna this season and he replaced Mrakar, who is in Utopia now. I don't know. I have a feeling that Ilian's role is different than in Kazna. In Kazna, he had to do quite a lot, and he played.
Had to be the star player.
Yes, and he played always in the front row.
Yeah.
Always first attacking and so on. Here, it's not like that. So I believe that's probably because of Koritz, who is their team leader. He's just making him one of the chips on the table, and he's using him as tactically he thinks fit. So that's about that. He's now just a part of the team, not a kind of a solo carry that he sometimes was. Out of the other players, of course, we have star players from last season like Positive, Breakneck, and so on. But the entire team is there together all the time, so there is not much to be said about them.
No, there is nothing to be said about that. There is something going to be said about the maps, though, so let's take a look at those and see what we're playing on. We have a nice set available for you today. Himmelsdorf coming in first, and Prokhorovka, Mines, and Steps. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Mojo? Because last season, Steps was a really good map for Ding. This season, not that much.
Well, they played Mines last time. Actually, GRS won the 2-0, and that's what brought them the match. And I will never forget when we were on GRS TeamSpeak then, how they won. Like they were desperate what to do, and they just said YOLO in one moment and charged and killed all of the Ding's players in the defense. So that was kind of a best day ever. But in these particular games, Ding should have quite an advantage here. Maybe only on Mines, Gunrunners can actually match them up, and they have much better stuff.
Because Ding has, so far, not a single victory in attack. And that is an issue, because last season they were an extremely, extremely good Steps team. And this season, they make it work on the defense, right? They still have 100% there, but they can't seem to make it work on the attack. And that is an issue as well.
Yes, but will we compare that to 14% win rate of Gunrunners? That's another story, right?
It's still more than 0, okay?
I mean, that's a total of 14 on both sides.
It's still more than 0 on the attack, okay? Point still stands.
Well, Steps is long way away. It's the last map. They have to survive till then.
Yep.
Out of these maps that we will see today, they actually played 3 of those last time. So I believe there will be some mind plays and interesting things going on.
Well, let's see if Gunrunners can do it again, and let's start looking at the first tanks that are coming out from both these teams on our first map, which is going to be Himmelsdorf, and so far, no real surprises, right, Mojo?
No, here we have for Gunrunners in defense IS-4, so that's a static tank they can use on several spots, usually above the city cap, and they have a grille to cover him, so that's probably going to be their play. And enough force to press the rail so they can block off any kind of significant push on the rail. On the other hand, Ding, as standard as it is, we say this is a standard lineup because it's even used in a last season, previous season. Only difference would be this RU light tank, because usually they were using 1390s, but this is a faster spotter. So we've seen it used, especially by Ding sometimes.
Now the question is, Mojo, quickly, can Gunrunners do it? Can they do it again or can they not? That is the question. I mean, they've done it once, but doing it twice might prove to be even more difficult than the previous time.
Well, I mean, when you start a match, honestly, all cards are on the table. Yes, of course, they can do it. Like, anyone can do it. That's not an issue. But the problem is, are they tactically versed enough now to beat Ding? Ding had quite a lot of time to prepare. I don't believe Ding will do any kind of radical tactics here against GRS. Ding actually has 3 matches this week, so they will probably keep some cards for the later matches, and they will just try to win the match by skill. Now, last time they tried it, it didn't work out that well. So they're going to have to actually do a bit harder job than that, because otherwise it may cost him. The biggest weakness for Ding is being repetitive sometimes. But if they notice that teams are trying to just counter their normal tactics, like we've seen in a match against Gohard countered them straight away, 3 games in a row and won, and then Ding just started playing completely
different or
random,
new.
Just random.
It might be that they had new shots prepared, but it was a very big point.
It did look like playing out of the hunch in those moments. Like they were just playing out completely different than their normals, and they won 5 games in a row. So that is the thing we were watching the last season. That is something we were expecting this one, but we were rarely seen it. Rarely seen it this one. On paper, with Ilian, they should be brutal team, much stronger, but obviously other teams were going to school also.
That is the question going to be. Ding themselves saying that they're not on 100%. They've said it themselves. They're not playing as good as last season. But there's a second factor, I think, where all the other teams have just stepped it up compared to last season, and it might have something to do with the fact that we went to a lower amount of teams, so there is no easy games anymore for teams to prepare on, to get freshed on, to be like, okay, to be ready. You know, you play an opponent which is arguably much weaker than you, you pick it up 5-0, that makes you feel very good going into the next week. Now, they don't have that. Every match counts.
No, there is also pressure because some of the teams have to play 3 times per week, which is much harder and stressful for players. It can seem easy, but they have to prepare so many tactics to prepare for teams individually. It's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job indeed, and we're going to have to find out if Gunrunners can do it again. It starts here, it starts now on Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
So here we go, the first round between Gunrunners and Ding, where Ding is going to try and break them on the defense. Gunrunners just need to hold on to pick up this first round.
You can already see Martin with IS-4 is separating himself, and he's going to monitor the 2 caps, something we said already before the game started, while the rest of the gun runners are just going over the rail to see if the Ding will try some attempt of a push there. But Ding is actually positioned aggressive toward that side. They might actually try to catch someone off guard.
Yeah, Ilian, they're very aggressive. Tried to spot out Ondrax. They do actually see each other, but no damage being traded so far. See positive here. He does not have draw range, I think, all the way there. And Ilian just holding the shot. Nice connection there on towards Ondrax. The first bit of damage. And it did seem, like you said, they were trying to catch somebody out over there.
Every damage in a start is done freely, and this is free damage, is always welcomed by the teams. we can see the first damage done onto this Bachat. This is the most important rotation text. But look, Danny already took a big shot from TT, maybe.
Yeah, Danny possibly got connected there by Positive. He's the only one that really had an angle onto him. He took 782 for his trouble as Ondrax is taking a lot here. He gets struck. This is not going well from Gunrunners, and Ding coming towards the rails, which is something we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, they tried it very rarely, and at the moment you can see they're not really aggressively pushing. This is kind of a thoughtful step-by-step massacre, because Gunrunners are not really doing anything to fight against it, and they obviously are stuck in the positions and they can't do anything about it. Honestly, Ding, if they want, they can just rotate and leave whenever they want, while Gunrunners, they must stay here.
Ding already getting a little bit of an HP advantage here. They're currently up 1.4 over the boys from Ding. Meritorious, he's going to be the one in trouble here, though. If he wants to cross over, he's going to have Martin at least connecting one shot on towards him. So they need to find out how to protect him. Perhaps they could split off Koritz and maybe somebody else towards the number 2 base, Mojo.
Koritz is already spotting that in positioning, but you can see Gunrunners are thinking about it, and Sigo already went that way. So at the moment, Ding is actually repositioning, because we can see Shockish going around. They will probably send some auxiliary force down that line and try to deal with that. And there you go. Bunch of Ding guys now are slowly retreating. They just made their line safe so they can't get counterattacked. Sigo actually should be very careful, because here he is not in good position. If he turns toward the hill here, he might get caught.
I think he's going to go stay fast after him and Koritz spot each other out. Breakneck now getting spotted in the middle as well. So far Ding taking a little bit of an advantage and backing off. This is a smart decision, no?
Yeah, of course. Of course, Ding can always do a secondary push on the rail again. But Positive now took a shot. He was spotted and he was shot. Ooh, some more damage coming in.
Non-connection coming out even there on towards Positive, because he already took that 731 damage in the beginning. Now, Gunrunners needed this. This is good that they are doing some sort of damage, because they were down and out almost. But still, they're going to have to deal with Ondrax being such low HP.
Still, Positive can afford to lose this HP, because he will always be in the back line of the fight. While guys like Ondrax or Enrico or Dani, they will be in the front lines, and they will be focused out first. Let's face it like that. If the mass fight starts, they will be the weakest link.
See now the rest of the Ding lineup moving back towards the hill, possibly going for that rotation towards the number 2 base. How is Gunrunners going to set up to defend this? Because right now, they don't really hold the positions.
Sigo's position is not something you see often. Keeping a light tank there on A5. It's kind of risky, because he cannot really defend himself neither from the middle, or if he's pushing up. Yeah, of course he's leaving now. Martin is angled actually in the window and watching from there. This is really kind of passive play by them, because it gives a lot of leverage to Ding. Ding, if they press that top 2 cap behind the buildings, there is no one who can actually deal with it. They will have to cross, they will have to go and just try to fight.
Let's see now, all the tanks of Ding coming off the hill. Breakneck staying on that for now. Koritz going through the 8th line. And there we go, the spot comes out. Unchi does not connect the shot. That could have been a big difference maker if he did, and it's Positive. 753 on towards Martin.
Oh, Positive didn't have a problem to snapshot an IS-4 from that position. Brilliant shot, I may say, and Koritz started the cap. Shockish is picking back some damage here while he's going around the corner, but the cap is on, and Ding still has around 1k HP advantage.
Ding does still have an HP advantage. Hooknik comes around the corner, gets ammo right. Danny here staring down Breakneck. Breakneck trying to connect the shot. He's actually connecting on towards Enrico. He's on 13 HP. One more will do the job. Can Breakneck get it? He's paying a lot for this though, and he doesn't manage to pick it up. So far, so good for both these teams. Yes, Enrico dropped low, but they got Break off on a reload. And now we can see the rotation in the eastern side as Break takes some more even. It's Sigo and Ondrax. And now they could actually do something on this hill.
Break and Positive are though together there on a hill. So there is a complete split there. 50% and going on the cap, 60% now. Gunrunners will be soon forced to do something about it. Storm is the only guy down on the ground that has HP to deal with it.
Positive takes another connection here as Ondrak spots out Breakneck. Marta now pushing forwards. Meritorious and Shockish are holding there. He does get a reset, but he pays very, very much for this. Minus 842 as Meritorious speaks out. He needs one more to finish the job. Can he connect it? One more shot? No, he doesn't. Now Danny comes into support still. 12 seconds left here on the cap. Danny gets the tracking shot on towards Shockish. Shockish is perma-tracked there. And now on the hill, you can see Seago and Ondrak. They found Positive. Positive already let his shot go. They're now going to continue towards Breakneck and Gunrunners. They have closed the HP gap and the guns.
Shockish, criminal shots here. He didn't pen 2 times on this ice 4. Martin is outliving him, but Storm and Seago are both dead here. This is pretty much still Ding's game.
Kuric with 6 seconds left might get the cap here. He's being shielded very well by his teammates. No reset comes out so far. They need to find a reset here. Kuric actually kills Ondrax, and it's going to be a base capture for Ding, but they could still choose to kill Gunrunners. If they wanted to, but they closed it with cap, which is very, very annoying, because who has Kuric on his team?
Oh, dear.
That's 100. That's like 90 cap points, Mojo.
Things happen. Things happen. You know, we say it in Serbia, I čorava koka nađe zero. I mean, like, even the blind hen can find a, you know. So yeah, Ryan has Kuric. Let's demystify this. And Dakin we don't, because in ESL Fantasy, Ding is playing 3 times in this week, so there is multiple strats that a lot of people use with multiple Ding players, expecting them to do well. And the second team that is playing 3 times this week is Suba. So there is many guys who are just making a full team out of those 2.
My entire team's in this match.
Yeah.
So.
No, you don't have 7 things, guys.
No, you're right. I was processing information. I
Yes.
thought for a second
Suba
Ding was
playing
playing against Suba.
next.
It's late. Okay, I'm getting old.
That would be a disaster. We don't want Ding and Suba to fight each other.
No. But that was good stuff from Ding. They're coming towards the rails, doing some damage, rotating. Gunrunners, they brought it close, arguably, but Ding was always in control.
Yeah, out from the first start, when Ding made that HP advantage, you could see why is that so much important. Because they lost some of the critical HP on the people who are supposed to do the rotations on the map. Guys like Ondrax on his butchots and so on. So when he actually came, he was not in position to do anything. He was shot too easily.
Yeah. For anybody interested, Breakneck was the top damage dealer in this round with 3.2k. To put it out there. I don't want to know about Kuric, Mojo. I hope he doesn't have like 100 cap points, because then I'm going to get...
I'm actually checking it because I'm... Oh dear.
80? 88?
88. It's quite a lot.
Yes, it is, Mojo. It is. But it's okay.
Oh.
We'll move over it now. Gunrunners, they lost this first round. Himmelsdorf is going to be a hard map for them in general, I think, playing against Ding. Can they pick up the attacking round, though?
I believe so. I mean, last time they faced each other, they actually managed to do 1-1 on Himmel. So it's not questionable, is it doable? It's only the thing, are they capable to do it now, today? Because as we said, like, they're not playing their best. I mean, yes, they won Kazna, and yes, they won Oops. But honestly, Ding lately won all the matches they played. They are not stuttering as they were in the mid-season. In the moment when they lost to Gunrunners, that was the only lose streak they had. There was like 3 matches in a row they had.
And they've won since.
Yes, and they won everything else ever since, even the tiebreakers they had, and they had some tough matches. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm very curious if Gunrunners can do it again. I just don't think the upset can happen twice. I think Ding will now have a good idea about how Gunrunners will play. They've had an entire week to prepare for this match to begin with. I mean, yes, they have 3 matches. They might not use all their strategies. But, you know, at this point, with the top 3 being so close, those points matter. And I don't think they're going to hold back that much. I mean, they might hold back 1 or 2 things, but still, they need these points just as badly as they need the other 2 matches.
Yeah, but I just think like Ding will mostly play standard, and if they think the match is breaking somewhere where they don't want to, they will, you know, just put some cherry on top to flip it to their favor. But otherwise, in this game, we've seen nothing special. It was standard rotations.
Yep, indeed, and Mojo guide us through here. Gunrunners with the IS-7 and E3 on attack.
And Kranwagen. Well, usually this is a setup used to press parallel 8-line and the hill. So that is something that Gunrunners can use here. It's really hard to play with this on some other part of the battlefield.
Mojo, let's find out if Gunrunners can pick up the second round or Ding is going to take this first map for themselves as we head into the second half here on Himmelsdorf with Gunrunners on the attack and Ding currently sitting up with 1 point on the defense.
It doesn't look like Ding is interested in any kind of experiments of preventing Gunrunners to get to the hill or whatever. They are just playing their games. Enrico in his tank is going toward the 8 line at I7, as we said already, and Seago did a super aggressive spot to try to fan out the Ding players, so they cannot really aim on the 8 line. So this is actually good play by Gunrunners there, because if they want, some of their forces can actually now drive 4-3.
Mojo, let's take a bet. At what time is Elian going to cross back over to the 2 line? As Positive takes the big connection there from Enrico and at I7. I think Elian will cross now.
I think Positive should tell him that they're tanks shooting, but Elian did cross and no one actually had a load. Good for him.
It's not a surprise. It's like always you can put your clock on it, you can put your watch on it. He's going to cross.
Seago is still spotting from there, but Ding actually has a good idea what's going on now. But this is a super defensive posture here by Gunrunners. Positive taking another shot and another
even
one.
More getting connected from Ondrax and Enrico, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I know Enrico hit him for sure, and the second shot came in from Ondrax. You can see there's only 4 available. Wouldn't be surprised. He's reloading now as well after that shot onto ports. Positive, and that is going to hurt for Ding. That is a lot of HP gone here.
This is a huge problem actually for Ding, because as a steady DPM dealer, like with a high penetration, high alpha, you expect Grille can do a shot, maybe receive a shot, and he can pull back and, you know, he can be still participant of this game. But now, Positive will maybe fire a shot and he will just die instantly.
Koritz chipping away a little bit of the HP of Ondrax to make him pay for what he did to Positive. Does around 400 damage, a little bit more than 400 on towards him. Danny on the hill, trying to connect on towards Shockish, and we usually see a VTDs here. He's going to back off. It's a very, very hard shot to hit.
Break is playing carefully toward the church area. He's trying to spot that, but he has guys waiting for him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Talking about the chipping of the health, it's going rather well for Gunrunners in this game.
The funny part is, though, that Breakneck took 350. In return, he did a 400-plus shot. And then one of the 50Bs did not connect on towards him. Shockish here desperately trying to connect towards the IS-7. Didn't work out. So far, so good for Gunrunners. I mean, they are in a good situation. They have a little bit of an HP lead here. Danny's still trying to connect from the hill. Now, when does Gunrunners decide to make their move? What is the timing they're looking for to execute what they have planned? But there has to be a plan behind this.
They are still waiting to do some damage because they have spotted targets like Shockish and so on. And there is an HE shell who penned there. Wow. Shockish is not going to be happy about this one. But soon, TM, they will go toward the upper 2 cap because it's out of the question they can play the rail with this setup, and they will try to just force Ding to push them and kill them onwards. We can see already Meritorious is waiting there next to the house on his standard position, you know, the position where he can write a book, How to Die on 1,000 Horrible Ways, against this wall. Because I never seen any player in this league die so many times on this very same tank, on this very same spot.
The AMX13 and 57 Grand Finals today. It's actually a pretty good tank, Mojo.
It is. I'm just horrible on it.
Nice point there. But yeah, now the tanks from Gunrunners are starting to group up on towards that 8 line. You can see Enrico going towards that. Seago is there as well, but how much is Gunrunners going to pay for this rotation to come through the 8 line?
Well, Enrico is spotted now, but they still haven't found, like Ding still haven't found who is spotting them. Like Seago is really playing this out well at the moment, and that's buying quite a lot of time to Gunrunners because we've seen teams massively lose HP when they're trying to rotate along that banana line, 8 line on the map. Gunrunners, well, the time is ticking, 5 minutes 30. They will have to move on. They will have to move and go. And they chose to go, obviously, more safe approach. 50Bs don't want to waste any HP, they're going toward the hill. But that will lose them another minute. That means that their attack will effectively start somewhere from the 4 minutes onward. And then it's all about fighting, because capping will not really be possible.
They currently have an HP lead, a little bit less than 1,000. But they're going to pay very much because the positions Positive and Alien are holding are in support towards Meritorious. If they come down at 0 line, these two tanks should arguably make a connection on towards them. 750 Alpha plus 50B. That is the HP lead gone.
The problem only is Positive. We already said that. His HP, he is one shot for the most guys in this game, unless, of course, they have some super weird low alpha. Any kind of stray shot in that... oh my god. Sigo the bodyguard.
That was amazing. I don't know if it was planned or not, but the way it worked out there, Enrico getting spotted down the 8 line, Sigo took the shot because he was unspotted. So they shot at Enrico and they hit Sigo. Was it planned? Maybe even, because it would work.
Sigo was actually sitting there all the time trying to spot. Daniel already picking up some damage, but he was sitting there all the time spotting. Maybe it was like kind of unconscious moment.
Connections come out, but they don't do any damage so far. Danny, the only one to take a little bit healing here. Waiting for Martin. Let's off another shot. Not going to be connecting downwards. And look at the 50 beast mojo. Going to push?
That will be really... even suicidal maybe. This is super aggressive here, but this is a very risky play because Enrico will be left completely alone down, and if there is not enough guns here for Gunrunners to overmatch Ding, and it's really hard, Ding is well positioned, they're in a problem here. They're in a big problem here at the moment.
Storm taking a lot of damage for not committing on towards Meritorious. He gets about 3 shots of damage before they get around the corner, so the HP lead here is gone from Gunrunners. It's currently Ding sitting up pretty over them, and now Ding kind of have the position they want to as Enrico comes over on towards Breakneck, and Breakneck feels the pain for taking that position.
Oh, Breakneck can actually fall in the next shot by Enrico, but he might check him. Let's see how will this go. Well, Breakneck is on 1 shot, but he did some damage back to Enrico at least. At the moment, the HP is even between this team. These picks from Enrico actually brought Gunrunners back to the game because they were 1k down.
Yeah, but now Elian and Hulknik are pushing forwards. Elian is already taking a ton of damage here. Unji's on their corner. That push is not really working out. And Enrico, he's still alive as well. He's going to be doing the damage. Hulknik now coming to help his friend as Elian is on reload. But he will fall for this. He should fall for this at the very least, as Enrico tries to find the shot. Elian is just about safe. And Martin comes around the corner, finishes him off. Now Shokish is pushing forwards. Enrico actually got over, but Shokish finds the finish on towards him. But Ding, they're paying very, very heavy for this counter push.
This is really strange. Why did Elian even go there like that? I really don't understand that part. And Ding is now at the moment kind of falling apart. I really like the postures of Gunrunners more at this moment. But still, we have Positive there who is waiting. He's covering Mary. So anyone pushing on some side, he will pay a heavy price. So the fight will actually be Gunrunners pushing down on those tanks while Mary and Positive are locked away from the fight.
Here comes the final engagement for these tanks. Hulknik trying to get around the corner. Shokish is left behind as Unji gets the kill. Now Hulknik training with Martin over here. But Storm actually goes down towards Meritorious. Nice play there from Ding, but still the HP lead is with Gunrunners. Danny is out of the fight, so Positive is coming from behind. He makes a massive connection on towards Unji as Meritorious connects on towards Danny. And Gunrunners, I think they're in a bad position right now because Ding have the angles to take them down.
Positive realized very well that he must move if he wants to be a part of the game. He cannot wait for anything to happen and to come on its own. So by doing so, him and Mary actually brought Ding back in a game. Halkanik and Break are working on Anji now, and now Gunrunners are actually on the ropes here. They have only 3 guys in 1 minute and 20 seconds till the end of the game.
Martin is fighting in a 1v1 here against Hulknik. He doesn't have any shots available right now. Koritz is locking down the other side as Danny picks up Meritorious. Now Martin needs to connect every single one towards Hulknik. He doesn't already. He only has 2 left in the chamber right now, and Hulknik is soon to come off reload. Koritz even chipping him from the side. Ondrak picks up Positive, but Ondrak goes down in return. Martin loses the 1v1 against Hulknik, and it's just Danny with 3 tanks against him. Ding, they can just run away.
Ding can do whatever they want, but this is pretty much one game for them. Danny cannot cap, he cannot catch up to any of those 2. I mean, HP, look at it. It's not really even existent here. But Koritz and Breakneck want to make a statement here. They want to make a statement that they are the champions of the last season and that Gunrunners will not repeat the same thing.
As Breakneck picks up the final kill, that makes it 2-0 here in favor of Ding, and that was a close round.
It was super close, but you remember what we always say, the victory is just the pages are written by the victor.
Yeah, of
course. And if the let's say match ends up horribly for Gunrunners in some bad result, 5-1, 5-0 or whatever, it will just be said it's a stomp. No one will remember, hey, but there were like 2 guys on 100 health left. No, it will be forgotten.
But Mojo, I'm going to make you very sad again. Guess what Kuric did in this game?
Damage, decap?
Decap points.
Why? Well, random picks are best picks.
I blame you.
You do?
Yeah, because I wanted to play Kuric in my team, but Mojo was
so
like...
you blame me for us having $200 more than Ryan and taking other players. Okay, guilty as charged then.
Well, let's take a look at the stats from this round and see where the damage came from. It's going to be first Enrico here.
Enrico, brilliant, actually, 3.7k. We already saw those peaks on Breakneck. He really split him in half then. But Breakneck closely following him in his budget. We've already seen some monster games by Breakneck on Himmelsdorf.
Yep.
Like 4, almost 5k damage done. Danny actually following with VD3.
Look at that, Mojo. Kuric doing some decap points there as well. Danny, a big amount of damage. But all around, very standout performance from Enrico, from Breakneck. Even positive. With that low HP, getting 2 shots of damage in, which is more than we even expected. Elian, though, that counter push over there.
That counter push there was something really strange here because it... I don't know, did they misunderstand each other what they want to do? Because he went right in a crossfire between the 50 Bs in straight and the I7 from the side.
Maybe he was too early, I'm not sure. But Shokish was arguably an even worse factor in this round. Just 66 damage. 66.
I blame you for that because I have him in the team now.
I'm sorry, Mojo. I really am.
Ducky has a faith in Shokish. He said he will do a lot of damage in this match. I was like, okay. We'll see. The night is young. Maybe something well will happen.
This is my disappointed look. This is my look of, oh God, what have I done?
Well, Ryan can be happy feet.
Mojo, it's 3 matches. Relax. Everything's going to be all right.
Okay, but this is just Himmelsdorf.
This is just Himmelsdorf and Dina. Moving on to Prokhorovka. What can Gunrunners bring there? Because RT can be played, but they don't really play with the tier 9 RT on that map. They kind of just go with the tier 8.
Yeah, they can play with RT. We've seen rather good plays by some teams in that respect, and they can certainly use it against Ding. But when you play RT against Ding, you must pay the consequences also, because Ding knows how to push.
Well, Mojo, what consequences are they gonna pay now? Because they have the Lorraine on defense.
I really don't like that, honestly. This is something on Prokhorovka I don't like, because it's one-sided. That means no matter which side of the rail they choose to defend, let's say they defend the forest, they will have to leave someone too close to the other side, isolated a bit. That will leave them quite open for the flanking forces of Ding, because Ding has completely mobile setup here. And they still have that I7 that can be used to push.
Well, Mojo, we're going to have to find out if Gunrunners can bring it back on our next map, or Ding is going to pull the game towards them. Let's find out on Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
Here we go, Gunrunners versus Ding, our second map coming out now. It's Prokhorovka. Ding currently sit on 2-0, and they are attacking. Gunrunners on the defense, and how much impact is this Lorraine RD going to have?
Look, this Ding is already aggressively pressing toward the forest here, toward the village side. All the tanks in a really fast charge. Ondrax is doing the spot on the middle. He might actually run in straight into the Ding tanks now.
Have to find out as Ondrax spots out Kuric. He's now going to start making his approach, and there they go. And there comes all the bad shots. Ondrax realizes he's in trouble. The first connection comes out, the second as well, and he's on fire. He's down. But Positive in the meantime is paying for this play as he goes down towards the one-shot. And arguably, Ding has gotten a crossfire here between the tanks from Gunrunners.
Still, I believe they will come out well out of this, because they still have a lot of rotation tanks they can use. And Gunrunners don't have that many mobile tanks. I mean, they have only 2 Bachas that can deal with that.
Enrico, in the meantime, is taking a ton of damage as well. He in that IS-7 is getting very, very low. 769 left on him. Artie still in the back line with Storm. Let's see if Danny can actually get a connection out. He destroys the house as Unji picks it up, but Sigo pays for that one. He takes about half his health in damage, and Ding are now sitting up 3,000 HP as Enrico is taking even more.
Enrico is in a huge problem actually here, and right after him it will be probably Anji and the guys. They have a budget going toward the hill, and I don't know will that actually change something for them.
In the meantime, Meritorious is coming down the 5-line as well. RT lets off a connection. He does not hit Breakneck as Meritorious on A6. Probably going to pick him up. Koritz is now spotted out on the hill. He's going to go down here. One more shot available, but the bad shot in return should go down as Meritorious picks up Danny. Koritz still alive at this point in time. Now Meritorious can put shots into the back of Storm here, and it's just 3 tanks remaining from Gunrunners. Ding have taken it, and they've taken in Storm.
Yes, recent, like they still had 7 guns compared to the 6 of the Gunrunners. RT is too slow shooting, and Lorraine RT really doesn't have that big impact, honestly, unless it hits the budget or something. And you can always use a tank more to flank. Look at Meritorious, for example, here. He picked up at least 2 guys for free from this flank because there was no one to stop him. And he emptied entire clip in their back. There is only 1 guy with HP left here on Gunrunners now. It's Anji with his Grilla Tank Destroyer. We know that is not a tank that will bring a victory against tanks like this.
Well, Unji has it all to do with 6 tanks left standing for Ding. He does a big connection on towards Shockers, but that's going to be all she wrote for him and his team in this round as Storm on 121 with a dead gunner, a dead engine. But Breakneck finishes off Unji. Meritorious will finish off Storm, and that'd be 3-0. And that was a very, very quick game, just about under 3 minutes, making it 3-0 for Ding.
It was super fast game here, and we will go on Prokhorovka defense, which is not something the Gunrunners, let's say, play always the best. And this is a time to worry heavily, because if they lose the next one, it's already going to be 4-0. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe someone can return back from that, but last time we checked, it was only Kazna.
Yeah. Onjax did not see any of them. When he did, he died.
It was great spotting. Guys, I don't see anything on Will. Oh no, there's entire team here.
Yeah, I mean, when he went down, Positive took about equal amount of damage. He went down to 200, but the thing is he stayed alive, and they made the Gunrunners tanks pay very much for any single play they tried to make on towards him. We saw Huknik actually doing at least 2-3 connections, which I saw HP-wise. Unji might be the top damage dealer, but still, with that aggressive approach from Ding, they lost the hill, and Ding could have rotated even Meritorious on there and closed it out like that if they wanted
Not only
to.
that, like most of the tanks from Gunrunners were permanently spotted. They knew exactly where they are. They could play their game. Ding could play their game around it. And you could see Enrico in his I-7. Theoretically, he was in cooldown next to the rail, but most of the guys could have shot him.
I talked about Huknik, and I thought Unji was going to be top damage dealer. I was wrong. Huknik is actually top damage dealer, but it's no surprise. I mean, I saw him do 2-3 shots on screen, which is the thing. He did very, very well here.
Oh my god, Koritz, number 4 on the map. I'm really gonna get angry on myself. Well, at least I have Hulk.
Exactly.
Yes. So I can console myself on that. But on the other hand, still, that light tank on 4th place may do it almost 2k damage. That's impressive. We've seen Koritz several times on different matches doing that. We've seen him...
Yeah, Mojo, that's indeed. He does very well, especially on maps like Steps and such, where he can climb.
Yes, he was doing one game with, like, I remember 3,000 something damage done with his RU.
3,300.
So I guess he got used to this RU, and that's the secret why he likes to use it on a lot
But
of
there was
maps.
also the other Steps game where he did 1.5 but picked up 4 kills. I mean...
That one was actually really tricky because he had to climb from the later part of the game. Yeah. But never mind that, we need to come back to the Gunrunners and Ding, and things are not looking well for Gunrunners at the moment.
Looking good for Gunrunners indeed. 3-0. Now coming on to the attack. They need to pick up this round if they want to make it work, because 4-0, it's such a hard score. We've seen it once being done against Ding, but that was a team of a different caliber. I mean, you got to say it like it is.
Maybe it's time for some new kind of approach, of new kind of tactics. We'll see Gunrunners do some pretty weird stuff. If there is something new they want to try, this might be the moment.
Oh, Mojo. I kind of knew what was going to come out already because Danny might have told me, so let's take a look and see what was coming out here on Prokhorovka. Talk me through this, Mojo. Double Jagdpanzer E100 on Prokhorovka.
Look at this duel. 2 Butchers, 2 IS7s, and 2 Jack Panthers. Well, what to think about his tactics? I mean, the problem with this is Yak Panzers, yes, they have quite a big punch, but they're super slow. And I'm actually interested what will Ding let them do it. Like, will Ding maybe aggressively go to the middle and try to find where they are immediately?
Perhaps that's exactly what Gunrunners is hoping for, Mojo, for that to happen. We'll see. Let's get into it. The second half here on Prokhorovka. Ding currently sitting 3-0 over Gunrunners. Ding on the defense, Gunrunners on the attack. Look at the Yak Panzers, Mojo. Oh, they know that they might come towards the middle, and they're setting up just for that.
Well, this is like hiding behind the palm tree. I mean, these bushes are like twice smaller than these Jack Panzers. But Ding is playing aggressive, but not as the gun runners would like, because they expected the classic push toward the center immediately, but this is not going on. Ding is actually taking over the village area, going in their flank. If they actually do this fast enough, they might catch them right in the middle of the field.
They might catch them indeed. Breakneck already pushing forwards here and spotting out. Now, how good of a situation is this going to be for Ding?
Well, Ding at the moment is doing so far so well. They're dominating the map, and this is rather okay for them. I mean, Gunrunners still haven't done anything significant. It's 60 seconds into the game. They're still repositioning their Jack Panzers and so on.
Repositioning the Yak Panzers indeed. And how good will they work out if they go towards the 1-2 line and possibly shut down the heavy tanks? Like, for example, they take the Corella position, you know, in like D1 and A1.
Interesting for me, honestly, here is because Ding did a really good thing. They left only Koritz to spot the forest, but he will see them coming, but it will be a free kill. It will be a free giveaway. So Ding is actually relying completely on counter-attack, but that can bounce back, because if one of the Jack Panzer connects on, let's say, a Barchat, that's only half HP down. This tactic for Gunrunners might actually pay off if they just risk it blindly and press the forest now.
Well, Mojo, it does look like that is exactly what they were going to do. Seago will probably go first, and then the IS-7 and Batchat and the TDs behind, slowly but surely. There we go, Seago's going first. I mean, they should find Koritz almost instantly, shouldn't they?
Koritz should fall here in seconds once he is spotted. I mean, look at the firepower that he's spotting there. Storm here is getting shot from the back. He will give info that already some of the tanks from the Ding are on the other side, but that's on the other side. But Koritz, oh, the dodgy guy. He's already running away.
Got the spot on towards Enrico, so he kind of know what's up. Seago's now going to clear ahead of these Yak Panzers, and it's going to be interesting to see just how much they can do. I mean, they have now taken 1-2 line, so the first little step of victory, pretty much, for them. Now, how can they make these Yak Panzers work on towards the #1 cap? How are they going to use them around? Maybe HE ammunition?
Well, they can position them, and honestly, even that heat ammo can pen E5 if it connects on a turret quite easily. It's 420.
It will connect you straight through the turret. It doesn't have to hit the cupola.
Yes.
I7 gun mantlet as well?
For I7, they might actually have to spam the HE, because even with heat, it's really hard.
Yeah, but you can pen around the gun mantlet above it.
Still, it's really hard, and that gun is not super accurate.
HE Mojo, 300
HE
damage
is always the way.
Well, Unji is setting up to watch towards Hooknik, but they won't get a spot on him as Koritz is relocated now all the way towards the south. Dani is still there, and that gives Gunrunners the info they need. I mean, one bad shot there should be enough to get the spots.
It's amazing for me that Ding doesn't look to be scared of this. They're just playing standard. I don't see any movements out of the ordinary here. They're just positioning their tanks, and they're completely relying that they will just outplay Gunrunners.
Martin actually getting spotted in his Yak Panzer when trying to back up. Storm takes the connection there, actually loses his ammo rack. Very annoying. Takes another connection there from Alien, doing the damage from the back lines, and now Storm on 926 is going to be forced to stay in this area.
Constantly they're losing some HP, but the real engagement didn't start yet. Gunrunners still need to position someone in that cap and do something about it, because that's the only play they have. It's not like they will be able to push Ding with these tanks. They're too slow.
It's very true indeed. And now, with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, when is the timing going to hit for Gunrunners where they have to make a move? Ooh, Unji is spotted.
There is movement over the cap right as we were talking. Sigo and Enrico are going there. But there is a lot of HP slowly missing from the tanks of the gun runners. And Storm, who is supposed to protect their flank, he's pretty much alone there. Positive is catching some damage here and some kind of engagement. We already see it.
894 taken there from Positive in the backline. Hooknick still trying to lock down on towards Enrico. It has not gotten the connections so far that he needs. Perhaps he'll get one on towards Dani. Lines it up. No. So far, the SDRV really not working out here. Enrico has to play against an E5 though, which is going to be very hard. They need a Jagdpanzer to hit, to connect. There we go. That's
Enrico,
a shot on towards Enrico.
Enrico took another shell, but I think Mary is super scared here, and he already took some damage. So in some weird alpha, high alpha shot by Jack Panzer, he can actually get wrecked. But Martin, with that beast of a tank destroyer, it's too easy to spot him. Look at the HP he has at the moment, and that gun.
75 HP left on Martin with the Jagdpanzer 100. Breakneck now pushing towards Storm, but Breakneck is taking a ton of damage. He might get Storm, but he will pay dividend for that. As he goes down towards the one-shot. Ondrax won't be able to get the finish. He's forced to back off, and Breakneck still doing the damage, even on a one-shot. They lose Ondrax, and they lose Storm before that.
Unbelievable play by Breakneck here. Like, one would say never risk something like that. It's like, you're gonna shoot to me? No, I'm gonna shoot you back.
Now Gunrunners, they're in trouble, Mojo. 4,500 HP. They have nothing in this round. They're getting surrounded from all sides. Ding, full control.
I mean, trouble doesn't start to describe this, but let's say what really went wrong here so far. I mean, Jack Panzers are interesting by alpha and armor, but the problem here is they have to position them on... Oh, look at this 1241. That hurts. That hurts when you see it.
Yeah, that's a nice connection there from Unji, but now Hooknick is like, let me show you what DPM means as this SDRV starts shipping. Actually, doesn't start shipping away at Unji.
I think he'll just show him what means having friends around, because other guys will shoot.
I think Unji will show him what it means to be in a Jagdpanzer if they don't kill him quickly, and there we go. Unji's like, SDRV. I don't have issues with penetrating that. He even bounces a shot there, Unji. Might get another one in if he's lucky.
But back to the subject, while gunrunners are busy dying, what went wrong here is because they positioned them on all the standard spots where you would use like a Grilles in attack behind the bushes and so on elevated position. But a tank like Jack Panzer doesn't have virtually any camo value, and it's easily spotted. And Ding really used it well in their favor. Like, they really chipped them on, they shot them from all the sides. They had to abandon their aiming spots. And then Ding just closed the circle, slowly but surely. It was really, though, amazing how actually Breakneck managed to kill Storm, survive, and then kill even Ondrax.
Kreitz gets the kill here on towards our Jagdpanzer 100 in that RU251. A nice connection coming out from him. Shokish getting one on towards Enrico as well, and it's the dying moment from Gunrunners in this round as Ding look to put themselves on match point here as Dani. They found Emilian doing the damage towards him. One more shot. Kreitz comes in with another kill, and that's Ding. Match point. 4 rounds, 4 wins. Match point. Can it be a 5-0?
Let me see. The next one is Mines. Yes, it's definitely possible, but Mines is actually the best map for Gunrunners. The only one they actually played really well, Gunrunners.
Who's defending first on Mines?
Gunrunners.
There's a chance here for at least 1 round for Gunrunners. At least.
Yes, maybe even 2, but 1 there is a high chance because they really have a good track record, let's be honest there. They have about 80% win rate on Mines, which no one else actually has.
Yeah, it's by far the best. Everybody says that Gunrunners is a good team when it comes down to Mines. They seem to understand pretty well how to play it.
They seem to understand when they're out of choice, they just go YOLO.
They didn't seem to understand the Jagdpanzers on Prokhorovka.
That's another story.
It's like the bigger brother of the mouse, and Gohar already showed us that the mouse on Prokhorovka doesn't work.
Gohar just mixed up the dates, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
The patch is next week, but they thought it was months ago.
They're going to bring it back, and they're going to be like, told you it's going to work. But here we go. The damage coming out from Unji again, very consistent. Showed Hooknick's STRV. What's up, boy? As Break, Ilian, Shokish, and Hulk closely followed. That's very good for me.
That's really good, actually. But Anji here...
You don't have Ilian, so it's not that good
I don't.
for you.
Anji here, the problem is because most of the damage he done here was actually in the later part of the game when they already lost, if you remember. He did 1241 in that 6 shot on STRV, and then he finished him off with the next shot.
Yeah.
So more or less, like at least 1800 of that came late.
Yeah, but Martin doing 0 in his is not that great. I mean, the thing is about the Jagdpanzer, if Ding plays very standard with STRV in 1-2 line and they manage to spot him, the one thing Jagdpanzer does not struggle with is penetrating an STRV. Like, it just goes straight through it.
Yeah, of course, because of the heat ammo, it just overmatches
Overmatch
your armor
mechanics.
easy.
Any part of the armor that hits, it overmatches because of the caliber, because of the 3 times caliber rule, you know.
I mean, we've seen the STRV positioned well on Prokhorovka. How much can he survive? Nexus played it for Kazla, and he did 4,680 blocks, something like that. That's like really sick amount because entire Utopia was shooting him.
How does the 3 caliber rule go again?
You can tell us because I can't remember.
What was it again? If the caliber is like... I don't remember exactly. That's why I was throwing to you. All I remember is 3 times caliber rule. Jagdpanzer, big enough gun.
A big enough gun pens everything, yes.
I think it's up to 120 millimeters. It bounces, and then it doesn't. Then it just gets overmatched.
I wasn't at the class at the moment.
I think it is like
I
that.
ran away from the school.
I bet people in chat are disappointed in me right now. I'm very sorry in you.
Yeah, we will go back to school for that one.
I just need to look up the exact definition because I kind of know the definition, but I don't want to say it because then if I say it's wrong, then it's even worse.
No, this is pretty much as worse as it gets, but never mind. We are 4-0 here for Ding here, and this is quite a lead we were maybe even expecting for this round because they are far better at the moment than Gun Runners. We knew they will prepare for Gun Runners. They didn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. They just needed to consolidate their play.
But that's their style, though.
Yes, but they didn't apply it very well in this season. Not so far.
Well, Ding coming out with their standard pick here, Mojo. I mean, triple 113, T49. Can't say it's really surprising from Ding, is it?
Oh, this is aggressive setup. You can do a late push on the hill. When you say late, maybe 10 seconds later. And there is still that TVP and 49 who can do a big punch on the start. And Gunrunners playing with Arti, probably who it was Sigo playing before. But who will play it now, we will see. And they have 2 TVPs in defense. This can be rather risky for them.
Double 113, double TVP here in defense. Now...
Can this be one of those, we're going to just push the middle?
It doesn't look like such a defensive lineup because you don't really have the extra HP, where you bring like E100, IS4, such and such. You don't really have the Alpha either to shut down a push because they don't have the E100 or such. They don't have a Gorilla. They don't even have a lot of burst because they have 2 TVPs.
But we know by their plays that they do like to play sometimes really aggressive on defense. They like to push the hill or even the village, try to make a trap or whatever.
I think last time they beat the Ding in the middle on defense.
It was a massive big fight, yes.
Yes. So maybe history will repeat itself.
Maybe they will just, they will never guess we're going to do it again.
Do it twice. Yeah, that might hurt.
Well, we will see. It's still Koritz on the other side, and he guesses everything usually. He doesn't always, win on those guesses, but I'm pretty sure he's aware of the options.
Yep. Wouldn't surprise me now. Ding, they can't really super contest the hill with their lineup. They just kind of have to give it up and work from there or push over the middle straight when they see Gunrunners take the hill.
I think it will be 5-1 or 5-2 to Utopia because I believe there is a lot of hidden potential in that team.
Well, Mojo, we're going to have to find out. But before we get into that, we are going to head into a short little break. When we get back, it will be Utopia versus Isuba. So stick around. Welcome back again to the Wargaming.net League Season 2. One match down, one. I did like this. One to go.
It's hard. Fingers are hard.
Yeah, I know, man. I use them to count all the time, but you know, who cares? One to go. Utopia versus Isuba. You already missed Gunrunners losing 5-0. I bet somebody thought I was going to say 5-0. But can Isuba perhaps do it? One check team down.
We've seen Isuba do some surprises during the season, but it kind of looks like their bag of tricks ran out because they lost 4 matches in a row, and it's been pretty rough for them. On the other hand, Utopia is sitting on the middle of the table on the 4th spot, so Isuba has 11, Utopia has 15. But Utopia had a couple of rough matches also lately. They lost 3 of them, but 2 of them they lost in a tiebreaker. So they were really hard fights, and they were something to look for, obviously. But they did look much better than Isuba. Isuba last match was complete stomp. I mean the stomp in a lost way because they lost 5-0 to Kazna. It pretty much looked like the match we've seen now.
Yeah. What do we need for Isuba to make this work? What do we need? Do we need an off day from Utopia, or do we need a mediocre performance from Utopia and a standout performance from Isuba?
We can't say what will other team do. What we need from Isuba is because they're not offensive enough team, we know that. They need to find a way how to pacify Utopia aggressive players so they don't make a huge advantage in the start, and they then make correct rotations based on that, because they're good at that. Yeah. We gotta give them that. They do the good choices there.
Has been a big issue for Isuba, the time. I mean, they take a long time on every single map to make their decision, and it has costed them, and it's something they said in the beginning of the season as well, and it might cost them if they keep taking so long to just figure out what they want to do, because the best teams are usually the ones that are like snappy, you know, the ones that make instant decisions, that make their rotations as it happens. They're not the ones that go like, okay, they're doing this, maybe we should do this. The ones that go like, okay, we're doing this right now, this, and this, to try and counteract what's happening on the battlefield.
Well, we can see with certainty that Isuba in the start was really big surprise for everyone. They were doing marvels. Like, there is no other word for that. It was really unbelievable how good matches they had. But they were surprised then. There was something new, something coming out of the shade, you can say. The all is dark horse, let's call it like that. No one knew how will they perform, how good they are, how prepared they are for this season, and they surprised everyone. But the season is 2/3 done almost. The matches that we are watching today and tomorrow will end the second round robin. Yeah. The second round robin means it will end the period when all the teams meet each other second time already. Exactly. And in this season we have 3 round robins, so that means it's only left for them to play once more against each other.
6 matches.
So 6 matches, and that's it. It's over.
So yeah, teams like Mojo said, after this weekend will have played 12. Some will have played 13 times, and some will have played 14 times.
Not sure, but I think maybe one team will play a bit more than that.
Everybody will have played 13 times except for Ding and Isuba, because Ding is their 12th match, and then they play twice more, so 14 for both of them.
Yes.
So their round robin 3 is, I mean, their entire season is almost over after that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So this weekend could start really deciding how things are going to look like. I mean, any points lost now?
No, but Isuba has only one worry now. We obviously know that with their 11 points, they will certainly not be in any kind of situation to chase for top 2 spots. So that kind of thing is out of the question. What they must fight against is to stay in top 6. GRS, who just lost a match to Ding now, are only 2 points behind them, and they are their old rival, competitor, fellow Czech team that came together with them in the league. But they were the better team in the Silver League. Not better for performing here, but then they were better. And I really don't know what Isuba has to do, but they need to step up something in this part of the season, because they need to stay ahead of GRS. That is their only goal, and they said it in interviews before.
Indeed, Mojo, but there seems to be a small technical issue. So before we move on, let's take a look at the top 5 global video, and we'll be right back.
Maybe a little bit less than Survive, but he's not going to get the spotting out. He's not going to get the information, like you said. He's relaying it back to the troops. Oh, We're seeing a little bit of a sumo fight here. Polly, what are you doing, mate? You're just keeping till. Not going anywhere.
I think what he was trying to do there is just knock the STRV up so that he couldn't get shots onto more damage.
I think Kaznakru are actually just going to stay where they are. 20 seconds. Nobody can actually reset here. Tomasek, how well can Kaznakru hold their nerve?
14 seconds left and still no reset inside. Isuba is going to pay very, very much for this one. I don't think they're even going to get back on time. Tomasek will go down, they go around the corner. 5 seconds left. Possibly the quickest round of the season.
3, 2, 1. GG. Overus might get a reset here in the dying seconds, but no, he can't. Very quick round there from Kaznakru. They should know that the crossfire's there from Mayland. It's one of his favourite places to be. Dead Zone getting focused at the moment, but Insane gets the kill on Unji there. Now, Dead Zone's taking a lot of damage, but Seago and Enrico have taken a lot of damage. What can Martin and Ondrax do as they come into the fight as well? We're getting a massive brawl here at the moment. It's going blow for blow. Daki, this is going to be decided here in probably 2 minutes.
I think so far, Gunrunners have the HP advantage. Dead Zone only has 2 shots left. If they can kill him, they might still be able to pull this back. But Oops is doing a lot of damage. But the reloads are with Oops. But Gunrunners have 2 single shooters. Dani and Estenizer right now need to get into the fight, kill Milosh, and then they have a 3v2 situation. They need to kill Milosh as quickly as they can if they get him, because look at Deja, he has about 5-10 seconds left. If Milosh goes down here, it's game over for Oops. 16 seconds. It's an eternity.
Danny gets another one to Mayland. Martin comes around. He has all the shots available to him. Martin misses his first one. Does he connect the second one? He does. They're going to go after Insane, and Gunrunners look to take this one, Daki. 5, 2, 3, and that's another notch on Gunrunners' belt right now.
Gunrunners have done it again. Insane, the last man standing. He's spotted.
Oh,
it's over.
Danny boy, you pick up the kill for your team, and you've done it.
T1 Diabetic and EXO, I don't think they realize it, but surprise party to Doma and Canadian Impact are already up top. And a bounce shell into T1, that could have been.
And the heat shell from Wallhacks goes into that T49 or into the Batchat turret for 700, but now Wallhacks is going to get focused out. But it doesn't matter because that was what he needed to do. But look at this. Eclipse, they're everywhere right now. They're demolishing Apex.
No way.
Look at this. This battle's over before it started. We're not even a minute in.
Oh, this is some deja vu for me. I've been in this scenario. You just run straight into your opponent. You're just hoping for it. But, oh no, Apex.
This game is already over.
Why did they go forward like this? This is... Why?
И все, в принципе, на этом можно ставить точку, наверное, на команде CDM, потому что 3700 против 1700. Ну, слишком большое преимущество к концу боя, и должны добивать эти три машины. Тут только Just Creative имеет какие-то ХП на своем батчате, а 2 ТТ ваншотные просто. Все трое ваншотные, в принципе. И Слайд остается один. Ты посмотри, они выехали и смогли за счет батов перевернуть здесь.
Слайд остается один. Нужно бы забрать цикличные танки пока на перезарядке. Ну же, первый в ангар. 13 секунд, Dead Hunter фугасами может 596 альпы. Сейчас самое напряженное. Just Creative на перезарядке. Dead Hunter может выйти в ангар. Успеет ли дать еще один снаряд? Не успевает. Дает 571.
2 ваншота остается. И Just Creative успеет ли зарядиться быстрее, чем Гриль? На таран берут. И кто? Just Creative!
Победили!
Какой момент! Боже!
Что это было? Как они перевернулись сейчас?
2000 проигрывали. 2000 проигрывали в конец.
I remember sitting across from them when that was happening. I was like, what is going on?
Боже, что это было? Anton lost it completely, man.
I think he lost it long before that.
True.
It's true.
It was a sick round, man. Come on. Like, look at this. I think like a 0.1 second decided who will win the match.
Feels bad, man.
For the guy who died, yes.
Poor Slide. Nice guy. Really, really nice guy. But back on towards this match, Utopia versus Isuba. Mojo, I think we should go over the roster from Isuba once more, because they do have that standout player, don't they?
Well, Isuba, of course, has Froley in their team. So we can say he is one of the really best players even in the league here. Even one of the highest rated in the prices on Fantasy. We can say that a lot of these guys actually performed really well from time to time. We can say Combat is example. He's really good example. He plays both Bachat really well and RT. Andrew on heavy hitters. but every one of them had their moments, like you, Lukin, Ukets, even Pratelicek with his confused plays sometimes. So he's sometimes a hero or sometimes a tragic guy, but always entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes a hero, sometimes a zero. Yeah, this lineup, I don't know. We'll see how it works. Froley, I keep saying it, very diverse player, kind of like his game style. So they have that. Let's see what he is going to be able to bring for us today. But Mojo, before we continue, I think Ryan had the chance to talk to Isuba and asked him a few questions. So let's hear how that went.
Hello to Andrew from Isuba. Now, first question here. Your team started off quite strong this season. You won 3 out of your first 4 matches. But recently, sadly, you've lost your past 4 matches. What do you feel has changed in the team? Is it a confidence issue or is it something else?
Yeah, so hello, Ektar. Yeah, we start good. We have good start in the beginning of the season. And as you say, the last 4 matches was a disaster for us because we lost 4 matches in a row. I don't really know what happened because we were on a good winning streak and then we started to do a lot of individual misplays and it broke us somehow. And yeah, that could be the reason for our results, I would say.
Okay. Now, if you do remain in Gold Series, I mean, this is a similar question to what I asked the other Czech team, Gunrunners, last week. If you were to remain in Gold Series for next season, would you look to remain an all-Czech team, or would you perhaps consider strengthening the team with players from other countries?
Well, we definitely wouldn't take a Chinese player, like Danik said. But yeah, I'm not a fan of prediction, and we will see after the season what will happen if we stay, if we take some players from other countries, if we will put some Czech players on our roster. I don't know. It's we are looking forward to next matches and don't look to next season nowadays.
That's a good, safe answer. I like that one. Now, you're heading into a 3-match weekend where you're going to be playing Utopia, Gunrunners, and Ding. Where do you see the biggest challenge from those 3 teams?
Well, definitely Gunrunners, because we have to win against them and take some points, because the points difference between us and the Gunrunners is not as big as it was in the beginning of the season. So yeah, match against Gunrunners will be definitely the main for us, and then Utopia and Ding. It will be hard, but I'm not fan of prediction, as I said, and we will see what will happen.
Okay, well, best of luck to you and your team this weekend, Andrew.
Thanks, Hector.
I really like the answer there from him, asking about which matchup does he think is the hardest one, and he says Gunrunners. Very clever answer, because they do need to win against them more than anybody else.
They are direct contenders. This is what we said. It will be between them who will actually manage to stay in top 6 or have to play the relegation.
Mojo, get it out of the way.
Yeah, we had a smiling courier coming here in the break who brought us a lesson here. Overmatch explanation by friendly Ryan and internets. Well, apparently Ducky did Google it correct, and yes.
I told you it correctly when the map video was on. I said, I think overmatch is when the penetration is 3 times the size of the armor, but I'm not sure about if I'm willing to say it, because if I'm wrong, it's worse.
Yes, because even in this rule, even if the armor is on 70 degrees angle, it will still pen. That's what the point of the rule. But never mind that. Let's see the Utopia team.
Yeah, let's take a look at Utopia, the team you might recognize from last season, but it's not the same anymore. They have undergone a ton of changes.
Of course, we mentioned more than once before, Kolesoid, Rulezik and FC Dynamo played at least 1 season on CIS, but some of them were on the European server before, even in Ding. So they joined and they boosted Utopia players, and Mrakar came from Ding. So these guys, I don't know, this is the problem for me with this team. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my native sayings. Tresla se gora, izašao miš. That means like the mountain shook and a mouse came out, you know.
And what?
That means, mate, they have such a huge potential, but it's not really used. Because when you see the lineup they have, you would say, wow, man, they should be contender of one of the top 2-3 places. But they lost so many matches for no reason, the tiebreakers. And they had some really weird plays. I really don't get it. I think they actually should be placed higher by the composition of team, but something is not clicking there.
We'll see perhaps if it will work out against the Suba. For me, I still feel like Utopia lost a lot when they lost Miloš, but they still have Bihu, and Bihu became even more of a star player, I think, than he was last season. I think he really took over that role that Miloš had, because Miloš was arguably the best player in Utopia last season, and I think Bihu has stepped up more than he was last season. I mean, he was very consistent last season, but now he's even more of that.
Bihu is always consistent. He's the old dog. So even when you think he's underperforming, he somehow finds his way back in the game. But interesting here is Utopia this season has like 52% win rate overall. Last season they had almost 80% in one moment.
Well, it's a different team, and let's take a look at the maps that are going to be played between them and Isuba. Himmelsdorf Mines, Ghost Town, and Steps Mojo. Now, out of these maps, what do you think?
Yeah, the problem here for Isuba is the only map that actually goes to their favor are Steps. And you can see that's the fourth map. You actually have to survive through all of these on the way. When I said earlier, why would I think it's like 5-2 result? Yes, I can think they can take a round on Himmelsdorf. Isuba usually manages to take a round there. But then the Mines is not really their best.
On Ghost Town as well, yeah.
Yes, and Ghost Town. Like, Mines is really not their specialty here. It's rather horrible, like 0% in defense on Mines. I wouldn't think it's possible before I saw this.
But if it comes to Prokhorovka, and if it even goes to tiebreaker, for example, Prokhorovka is not their map either.
No.
So if they want to win this, if Isuba want to win this, they need to close it out before tiebreaker. They need to close it out in regular time. If Utopia wants to win this...
Utopia wants here 3 points, that's for sure. They will try to lurk their chance to join up with the top teams if they make some mistakes.
Perhaps.
And they cannot afford to lose the points here for that. They should be fairly certain that they will end up in top 6. But nothing is granted. We've seen that. We've seen GRS B teams. We've seen Isuba B teams. So,
well, Mojo, let's take a look at the lineups here. And W100 and FE4005 from Isuba with an IS7. It's a very, very heavy lineup.
It's a very heavy lineup, and it's very hill-oriented lineup. So that will give quite a lot of clue to Utopia here. But Utopia playing defense with ML2, probably they will position it on a rail behind the house. We've seen Shokish playing Kranwagen on that position in a previous match and having Grille at 2-1-1-3, so that's some rotation potential. Interesting is they don't really have a tier 10 Batchat, so no one like Breakneck can do top damage on the map in it, but a tier 9. And they don't have a light as a spotter, so it does look like Utopia is maybe looking for a fight. Maybe they will even try to use this in their advantage and maybe press.
We have seen the Swedish heavy tank be used on that. I think it's B8, B9. There's a little bit of a rubble pile there where you can play behind not the one at the hill entrance, but the one a little bit further back. I think Kazna was it.
I actually can't remember it, but it's possible. But with this, they might actually even push from the start and try to cut off Isuba.
That's going to be very interesting indeed if Utopia can pull this off. But they have to do it very well because of the amount of hit points available towards the Isuba and the sheer amount of alpha even. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but it's about to happen as Utopia and Isuba is going to get underway on Himmelsdorf. So here we go, Utopia versus Isuba. Utopia looking to pick up 3 points. Isuba need the points just as badly. Happens here on Himmelsdorf. Utopia on the defense and Isuba on the attack.
We can see already Combat in his FVTD positioning on that standard position J8, J9. You can see on a corner that little triangle aiming for the middle. Super aggressive spot by Shuku, going really, really into the lines of Isuba, trying to spot the 8 line. Already picking up some shots.
Overus comes out with a big connection on towards that tier 9 Batchat. Shuku will get himself in the corner. And like you said, Utopia went for the aggressive play, but Isuba kind of dodged it.
Yeah, they already have Overus, but Overus is pretty much alone there. It's gonna be really disastrous here because they're already taking some damage. We need to see will Combat actually be able to join the fight and do something about it. Both of the 50Bs are out of the fight.
E100's rushing the 8 line. Never thought I would see it in my lifetime. But Froley and Lukin, they're on the run, but they're getting chipped down. Froley especially, he's tracked. Shuku now peeking out and taking the E100 very low as Overus makes it to the cap. And that's the thing though, Mojo. This capture circle number 2 is completely open.
It's completely open. They have 250Bs and an i7. That's a great potential there for them. But they're losing a lot of meat here in those E100s. Utopia needs to close them in from the other angles now.
Utopia has 30 seconds left before this base gets captured. They go into the courtyard. They're rushing the 8 line. They need to make it as quick as they can. Combat is still being pushed up towards the hill from Thomas, like Papapavian going towards Lucan as Muka is trying to find the reset here. Muka takes the big shot here from Overus in the i7. Can he get a connection? He needs to track him at the very least. Muka, you need to get a reset here. 12 seconds. Papapavian might do it. Lukin trying to block, but I think they will just about get back for the reset. But look at the damage they've taken. 6 seconds left. Papapavian should get there in time, but look how much Utopia has paid.
Whew, that was close. That's like 2 or 3 seconds away, but Papapavian ignored everything else and just went for the reset with is important move. Now HP-wise, Esuba is actually slightly ahead, guys, but positions are horrible for them.
They lose Overus as well, who just got tracked on the corner. They're going to go for Papapavian here, but Andrew is taking damage along the way, and Papapavian might take at least one of them with him in his grave, and there we go. Colossord picks up Andrew as Yukets now trying to take down Papapavian. Only just about has Zilot available as Colossord is clipping from the side. There we go. Yukets picks up Papapavian, but at a very, very big cost as Dynamo now comes in to close out the kill on Yukets, on Tomasek. They'll clean it up, and it just be combat, Mojo, and you better pray he does a big shot.
Let's go, boy. Give it a big one before you go down.
Well, he might be giving it towards FC Dynamo. He peeks over. Can he get Dynamo? He aims. Oh, 787 as the FPTD didn't really work out, and Mojo gets a little bit disappointed. But the first round here for Utopia, and that was interesting. That was something else.
That was really fast round here. You could see by lineup Utopia, they might be ready, but can't get... I don't get it. Like, sorry, but Esuba guys pushing E100s on the 8 line, which is
not in my life, not in my lifetime.
By any circumstances, it's easy to spot them, shoot them in the side, but this was even worse because Utopia didn't wait for it. They just pushed instant, and they immediately took one of them out and the other right after that. So yes, it came close to the end of the cap, but effectively, honestly, if Muka positioned a bit better with his grille, he would have no problems.
If he just hits him in the track, that's a reset.
I just thought if he was like maybe more proactive, and he tried first to watch on the left side and peek, and then he saw an i7.
Instead of just driving in the window.
If he just ran and fired the shell, and that's it.
But look at that, Mojo. I see something that's going to make us happy, as Lukin is the first player here for Esuba, but Colossal and Papapavian doing the work for Utopia.
Yes, we must root for Esuba for sure because we have 3 players there, but I think Lukin and Yukets are in both of our teams.
But then Ryan has Yukets as well, but he doesn't have Lukin. He has Tomasek.
He has Tomasek and Andrew. But I have Combat.
Andrew as well.
I have Combat. Yay!
I won't complain. I mean, Andrew did only 400 damage less, Mojo, than Combat, so I don't see what you're all so happy about. All I saw was Tomasek with 600, 700.
True that. No cap points here, or decap, or any sort. But still, coming back to the game, Utopia with rather, let's say, admirable performance in the first game here.
If Lukin blocked Papapavian like he was doing with the rest of the team, they would have won that. I'm actually not even joking. 3 seconds. If he blocks him, he needs to catch speed again. Go to top speed.
Yeah, but it wasn't 3 seconds when the block would happen. It was like maybe 10 seconds to the cap. And Lukin is an E100 and not a ballerina.
But they drove straight past him.
Still, it's a momentary choice. And can you get it? Are you fast enough? Can you like touch that 113 to check it by just like touching it because you are heavy enough? It's a lot of those kind of moments. And
but then again, Muka should still have gone the reset.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like, you would always have an alternative. Then Muka could have played better, and this wouldn't happen. Like this, he just got deleted.
Yeah, But it was the attack for Isuba. Perhaps they'll get the defensive round. That was a very interesting push though from Utopia. Everybody pretty much down 1-2. Don't think Isuba's going to do that, but let's find out as we look at the tanks if they are. I doubt it though. I really doubt it. But Isuba... well...
Sorry, Danny, but you are not a meme master anymore.
Isuba's like, our Czech comrades from Gunrunners. Danny thinks he's the meme lord for 2-0. Let's show him who the real memers are as Isuba. I mean, meme, it might work. We have seen a defense work with this amount of heavy tanks, though.
We've seen actually defense working with 3 mouses.
Yes, that was go hard.
On the Himmelsdorf. It's something also played on CS region before, but not many choose to play so because it can be risky.
Oh, but Mojo, when we get into game, there's one thing to point out, but yeah, it's very interesting. 3 mouse. I think somebody told me that the plural of mouse is Mausen or something. I'm serious.
On which language?
German or something. I'm just going by Twitch chat references, okay? I think even Elfish guy, Apacaster, said Mausen. Mausen? Mice?
No,
I don't know.
No habla German, sorry.
I don't know. But let's get into the second half here of Himmelsdorf. Utopia on the attack, sitting on 1. Isuba on the defense, sitting on 0. But looking to change that as they have 4,000 HP.
Am I correct? Or actually Gohard played with the 3 mouses against Utopia?
It could be.
I think they did actually, and Utopia is completely confused. They didn't know what to do, and then they just, okay, we're going to attack here, and they died.
I think it might be like that, but I just remember that it was Gohard. I don't remember who they played. Where are they going?
Okay, so it looks like they will position these mouses in this 5 line, in this pocket maybe. I hope they're not pretending to make a trap or something. Well, there are obviously a couple of versions you can play this around with. But at the moment, Utopia, what they need to do is find the location of these mouses and get some info for themselves. I believe that Tomaszek is in garage, probably playing with binos there, sitting and spotting on toward the rail. So you can see this is something like a really old school setup, because this is how Himmelsdorf was defended in some of the versions when the tier 8s were played.
The interesting factor here, Mojo, that I want to talk about is Utopia does not have a tier 8 that they can just put on the cap and is expendable. They're playing with double tier 9. How much is this going to affect them if they are going to go for either of the 2 caps? They don't have that small tier 8 tank that can be expended if needed. They can show it away. How much is that going to affect it?
Lukin already picked up some damage there. Honestly, it goes well for Utopia at the moment to have bigger guns, because they can always put 1 guy on a cap and no one is expendable then. Like also, it will trigger the cap and he will be covered by the other guys. You can certainly say that, well, Isuba will not be able to do a counter push with the lightning speed. But what you wanted to point out in a start is that Isuba is cheating and they have 4,000 HP more.
Yeah. And now Overus in combat will spot on Maraka. Maraka in that Emil. Can he do some damage on towards them? No, so far no connections from him. He has 3 shots available. The first one didn't go through. He has to be careful in that courtyard, because there are 50 Bs available here for Isuba that could make a play on towards him at any given moment in time. But it's just Tomaszek over there right now. And what is the ultimate plan here for Isuba to deal with this cap pressure, which will start being put on time and time again?
Well, Isuba is trying, Isuba is just trying to buy time, obviously, but Utopia is just trying to chip some HP away from them. And so far, they managed to do it only on Lukin. But they did lose like 3 minutes. And you can see they're not satisfied with results. So that's why they are rotating around Dynamo and Colesoid to go on a completely another side of the map. And a couple of other tanks. There is a possibility they will try to maybe even trigger 1 cap or just to play some kind of pincer crossfire. Nice connection here by Muka.
Yes, a great shot actually on towards Lukin. You could see him there with that heat ammunition. Now Dynamo and Colesoid are spotted. Maraka actually relocated back in towards the window. Still no connection so far on towards combat. The second shot perhaps from Maraka
look at Lukin's HP. Lukin picks up more shots. He's on 1 shot now. Froly crossed here, so he can decap, but he lost half HP for it. This is a heavy price they're paying for it, and the mobility is not their hardest point.
Jukic comes around the corner, tries to connect on towards Bihu, does not. Bihu just about gets safe as Froley taking even more damage. He needs to be careful, but they have kind of a separation here. The Utopia tanks are kind of out of position. Bihu still taking more damage, and now Rulezik needs help as Andrew in his 50B is starting to make an approach behind. Froley needs to make sure that he doesn't go down for this trade, and the rest of the Utopia tanks are kind of stuck in towards 8 line. This game is not over. Suba has a lot of HP available to them, and Rulezik is getting flanked now by a 50B, by Andrew, who is doing the damage towards him. Froley actually gets Rulezik from the backside, and that's one tank down, and still 3,000, well, 2,000 HP at this point in favor of Isuba.
They can still approach with these mouses, and one of them can take all the beating in the world, so others can push. I believe there is really a good time for Bihu to rotate and try to take out this Tomaszek on one-on-one maybe, because he's a butchot, but there is a push coming in. Combat and Overus are slowly rolling in, and they will press these Utopia tanks here. They will have to run for the courtyard.
Combat and Overus, as you said, coming towards the corner here. They want to take the autoloader shots. Combat, look at the non-connections coming in. Already 2 of them. The damage is now starting to come on towards that mouse, but it's exactly what they want. They are trading for this, but they should be able to trade some HP in their favor as Dynamo takes damage as well. Maraka takes some, and Combat is taking all of it for their team. That's exactly what Isuba wants. Yukets picks up Maraka. That is good. Muka is still in the backline, spotted out in his grill. He's going to try to make a play on towards Andrew as Colosoid and Papa Pavan kind of locked down here in that courtyard, and Lukin, he is holding Muka off as well. The HP still in favor of Isuba, and how does Utopia get out of this?
This is brilliant here for Isuba. They still have all the 7 guns in the game, but the HP is lowering and it's almost equal. The problem is Muka has a lot of it. That's the biggest problem for Utopia here, and he's cut out of the game. The whole game is on these Clippers in the courtyard. If they manage to prevail somehow, kill Combat without losing anyone, they actually might have a chance to win a game.
In the meantime, Bihu actually gets picked up by Tomaszek as Muka goes down towards the triple crossfire from Utopia. They lose Colosoid, they lose Papa Pavian, and Mojo, can you believe it? Still, seven tanks remain here for Isuba. They made the mouse work. Yukets might be the only one going down as Dynamo clipping out towards him. Yukets does not have any shots available. As I say, 7 tanks alive. Yukets decides to ruin it. That's Combat. Gets the final kill, and Isuba make it 1-1, and what a play.
That's a hell of a comeback coming in here. As I said it, 3 guys from Utopia died in the next couple of seconds, and that pretty much ended this round. But good, and I would say even ballsy play here coming in from Isuba. They use the potential of those mouses pretty well.
The thing is, though, what Utopia seemed to be in a good situation, right? Starting the cap, doing damage, running away. I think the issue for them was, though, that it created a separation between the 2 forces
they had no covering on Rulezik. They had no backup for that.
Even Muka didn't, I think, do much after that, because one corner he had Lukin, another corner he had Froley, and on the other corner Andrew was flanking around them. They just crossfired the mouse from 3 sides.
Yeah, the problem is that I7 that was left on the top of the 8 line, that was Rulezik playing for Utopia, and he was covered by Muka from the back of the hill. So that was all fine while he was fighting the tanks ahead of it, and he was in cooldown. But once they crossed the road and he was flanked from his back, no one was actually covering him. Once he fell, actually Utopia just fell apart like dominoes because they could not deal frontally with mouses. Even that Ice 4 that was left on 1 shot, it was enough because when he does the side scrape, reverse side scrape, combined with mouses, it's complete control of the 8 line. Ooh, look brilliant at that, damage Mojo. By Yukets. That paid off heavily already.
Yeah, but Mojo, we all 3 have Yukets, so...
It doesn't matter. Combat also.
Combat there with a nice amount of damage, but so did Andrew, so I'm kind of happy about that. Tomaszek actually in that tier 8, not doing too bad as well. Lukin, boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
That's not good for us, even though Tomaszek didn't do much more. We're about even, Mojo, let's put it like that.
Well, that Lukin play here was not a brilliant one. That's something that actually Andrew was pointing out. They had individuals' mistakes all the time. But that's something you have to live with as a team.
I'm glad I didn't pick Froley, though, because wouldn't be worth the money right now. I mean, no offense, but, you know, I think you're doing the best so far, actually. Thinking about it, you have Hulknik. You now have Combat doing pretty well as well. Yeah.
So far, so good.
You might overtake Ryan. I don't think you'll get to me, but...
It's hard, man. Ryan. He's like 70 spots ahead of me, I think.
Everything is doable. I think I jumped like 80 spots last week, so...
64, actually. I just checked.
Yeah, but so far, so good. So far, so good. Now, that is Himmelsdorf done. Now, going into Mines, Isuba showing they're doing the work. I mean, 7 guys alive until the last few seconds. It's a clean win on Himmelsdorf, no matter how much HP.
Yeah, it was great, and we already saw that Utopia is always troubling when they're fighting against lineups with like 3 mouses, because they like to play with those faster setups and lighter tanks. But Mines should be the map for Utopia. We already said on the start that there is a high chance that Suba will pick up at least 1 round on Himmelsdorf.
Look at this lineup though, Mojo. Double mouse from Utopia on the attack. We've seen this in CIS, but not on EU.
Yeah, if you show the 3 mouses, we can show you 2 on the Mines here. This is going to be rather interesting here.
It's going to be very interesting, but the Suba's lineup is also one that looks like it wants to take the hill, Mojo.
It looks really confronting, and it looks like they want to fight from the start. But they need to take these mouses, and this is not a corner kind of map like Himmelsdorf.
Well, Mojo, can the mouse win another game? Let's find out as we move into our second map. It's going to be Mines. Here we have it, the second map between Utopia and Suba. It's going to be Mines, 1-1, and look at this.
Well, March of the Mouses in the water, it's going to be the fastest march ever. Combined with weight, it's going to be good if they don't just stay there, stuck. But the pressure will be there. There is no RTPs for Suba that can do anything about decapping, and they don't even have a T49 nor Grille. So this is a big problem for them, because they actually have to win a firefight against Utopia. Utopia will have angles covered to shoot the tanks that are trying to peek from the ridges.
Now, Mojo, the question is, does any of these Suba tanks on their batchas have a small gun, as Koma takes the first bit of damage here? Didn't get to look at it just yet. When we see the batchas, Mojo, pay attention to me if they have any small guns so far. You catch it over.
It's going to be a nightmare if they do.
Well, I'm just worried that maybe one of them does.
Actually, remember this game now. Light tanks capping behind mouses. This is a big problem when you don't have an RTP on Mines, because how do you deal with this now?
Whoa, you can takes the pain train! 1,665 for crossing over to the K4 position. Well, that's gonna hurt, as now Froly will probably be forced to go deal with the mouses head on Ukets. Boy, that hurt.
15 seconds, 10 seconds, 11 seconds to the end of the cap. Someone will have to bite the bullet and go for it, Aki.
17 seconds, it did get resetted. I think it was Froly, but Froly's now out of position because they're going to push forwards with both these mouses and make him pay for that, as Combat here is going to make the climb towards Bihu. Overus is coming from the other side. A lot of misses on towards Combat here. He fails the climb, actually, and him and Overus are now locked down in that area. As Muka gets another connection out. In the meantime, Froly, he took a lot of damage from those mouses. You can see it. The health bar dropping. The health of Suba dropping. Half of what Utopia have right now. And the cap's back down to 13 seconds.
What, what health, man. They have like 5k HP, that's like a double less than Utopia, and the cap is still going on. Yes, Dynamo fell now, but still, look at the HP.
1 second, 0 seconds, it looks like base capture from Utopia, and they've done it, and they've done it in style. That was a quick attack, and that's very important as well.
If it comes to a longer game, what Daki means, if it's a tiebreaker, this was a game of 2 minutes and 25 seconds, something like that. That's really remarkable time, and they will probably have a pick then.
Issue of not having an RD exposed.
It's a big problem. Even if they had a 49, it would be useful, because he would be
able to... He would not be able to hit RU. You need an RD.
Yeah. For RU, you would need an RT, but he would at least keep those mouses in check.
Yep.
Well, rip here for defense of Mines. For Suba, they will have to go on offense and show us what they know here. But even before the match started, we said that this is a map where actually Utopia can break off 2-0, and they're at the moment proving us so.
I don't know what to say. You'll see what I'm talking about pretty soon.
Again?
Don't even say anything. Let's take a look at stats, and we'll see it. We won't see it on the first page, but you'll see what I mean when we get to the second page. 6 Utopia players here on the first page. Only Overus to break into that top 7. It was a cap game after all, but Utopia killed most of the HP from Suba.
It wouldn't even matter at the end of the day. They could have picked whatever they want to do on this map. But this is pretty much self-explanatory. There is nothing here to look for. I mean, they completely surprised them by tactics. You could see Suba actually had no idea what to do about it.
Indeed, and that's what I'm talking about, Mojo. Combat at 735, so you're not doing that bad. Andrew and Yukets, that's okay for me. It's not that great for you, but...
Lukin is doing brilliant.
What about Tomasek?
Even pretty much equal as Lukin.
That's okay, though, because I just have to stay ahead. I don't have to expand my lead, you know? I'm ahead. That's all that matters.
You're going about that saying, like, how do you outrun a bear? Like, there are two guys. How do you outrun a bear, you know?
I just have to run faster than you.
Exactly.
And Mojo, I know that joke. It's like you
it's
see...
It's not even a joke, it's a fact.
It's like you see a bear, the guy starts taking off his shoes. Why are you taking off your shoes? Well, I just have to outrun you. You can't run a bear. Great joke, man. Actually, that one was pretty decent. But yeah, 2-1. That was very quick from Utopia. I think we could all see what happened there, but the mouse is going on the cap. They created shield for the RU. Isuba had nothing to really counter it.
No, like, tactically completely unprepared. There was only one way they could play their tactic. That's push on a hill. Utopia was completely uninterested for any kind of those plays. Their tactic from the start
hill
was... yeah, that would be the latest of the late pushes there if they went for that.
Mouse going uphill. Yay.
Yay, that will be a long march. But sound tactic here coming from Utopia. They didn't invent it. We already said that was played on CIS region by Tornado. Also successful as far as I remember.
I think so.
And again, having no RT here was a problem.
Mouse, not an uncommon pick anymore. Tornado even played it on Ghost Town in the tiebreaker.
Unbelievable, but even before the patch, so many teams take Mouse tank on different maps. I can't even imagine what will happen in a week.
Somebody's going to play 6 Mouses. Probably be Gunrunners, but somebody's going to play.
I just said, I'm so happy. I don't have to make tactics anymore. I'm just going to lean back and say, whoa, look at this.
I can see 6 Mouse, 2 type 5 heavies, 4 Mouse, something like that. But let's take a look at the lineups for this one. As Isuba, take it fairly standard, Mojo.
Isuba in attack, rather light as usual. 2 1-1-3s, Skodas to control the middle if there is any push, and 3 Bachats so you can climb the mountains and of course that middle. Utopia again playing heavy. I don't know. Actually, this kind of play by Utopia can bounce badly on them.
Mojo, but now the factor here is Utopia has Papa Pavian. Factor 2, Isuba do not have an RD. How much of an impact could Papa Pavian possibly have into this round?
If there is anyone making a big mistake from Isuba players, he is going to be the guy to punish them. We need to see, will anyone from Isuba actually pick up maybe a shell from Grilla in the start?
Let's find out. Let's get into it. Second round on Mines, Utopia lead 2-1. Isuba has to attack. Utopia just has to defend. And like you said, let's see if there's any initial damage taken by Isuba.
Isuba is spreading their their lines, immediately taking over the island. Interesting part there. Really unchallenged approach here by Overus.
This is really, really risky here by Combat. I don't know if he's going to try and instantly do the climb. It looked like that for a second, like he was lining up to do the climb instantly. I hope he doesn't. Yes, he is, like I said.
Oh my god, this could hurt a lot. He's still spotted.
That's... Ooh, a miss from one of the... Oh, but he's on the fire! Combat, no! He's burning! Minus 1.3. I was going to say either the 100 or the Gorilla missed him.
But he's still not safe.
Oh! Papa Pavian from the back lines removes Combat in the beginning as Mojo's tears are all over the place. And I asked you, what kind of an effect can Papa Pavian have? Well... there we go.
Crocodile tears coming in here, full of salt. And a lot of more salt coming. But this is a problem for Isuba. This was hasty play. It was not planned. I don't even understand why did they risk something like that.
He was trying to beat the timing of the E100, but it doesn't work. Like, it looked like he was trying to get there before the E100 got up because of the fact that some teams, like Ding keeps their E100 in the base. They keep him next to the Gorilla to try and do an initial shot, and then he moves down, which is like 5 to 10 seconds.
That's such a blind play. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a complete blind play.
Risk.
It's a complete blind play. But if they played it similar to Ding did, it would have worked out wonderful.
But Utopia played it like Utopia, and Combat is dead. And with his untimely death and my death of my points, never mind that, is a lot of problems now for Isuba because they have a big gun down and they have to think what to do now. They know that one side is completely locked away from them, and I'm afraid at one point he's just going to come to the old Gunrunners tactics. YOLO. They're not going to have a choice.
Papa Pavian now has a shot available to him. He does not have any targets whatsoever. Right now, though, you never know with Papapavian. He's eyeing up his eye on the bush where we usually see blind shots come out. He makes the connection. 384. I mean, it's something.
Andrew not happy here, but maybe he's happy that actually he sensed that the shell is coming, so he moved away. Otherwise that would actually be a direct shot.
It could be that.
Yeah, so especially because he was turned with his engine deck toward that side, so he would run away faster. But when Artie hits you, you don't run.
Mojo, if you remember anything from this week, you don't have to hit somebody in the engine to one-shot them.
Unreal. Ducky plays Artie in randoms, guys. I just gotta squeal on him. And he's like, when he one-shots people, like, yay!
That's a lie. No proof.
I have a demo.
I mean, I did pen an E5 from the front.
Yes.
Andrew taking some more blind damage there, 108. Oh, Papapavian already very annoying in this round for Isuba. Constant threat, constant shots, constantly have to be afraid. And how does Isuba get out of this predicament? How do they win this round?
Honestly, I don't think they have a real plan how to deal with it. If they wanted to do something, probably the worst possible choice is to push here because Utopia is covering the water and their tanks will be slowed down. Shuku is taking some damage. Okay, if he takes some more damage and they push and again, Utopia doesn't hit their shells by FC Dynamo, by Kolesto, then never mind that.
Shuku takes some damage, but Andrew takes a little bit more for his trouble.
Lucky for him, he still had a repair.
He's still alive.
Or he would have a dead engine there.
He's lucky to still be alive.
Exactly. Ukets and Lukin are pressing here toward the water, but Utopia does have Papapavian, and that will not be an issue for him to decap at any point. I mean, Isuba is very real to themselves. There is not many options left for them in this game, and it's not getting prettier by the as the time passes.
No, it doesn't get any better for them as now Ukitson looking at pushing up. Artie, another blind connection on towards Andrew this time. He's down to just 8 HP. Now his gunner is dead as well. Andrew not having a great game here either, which is really, really tough for me.
Papapavian, didn't you kill your cat in a previous life or something? Like, why so much hate?
He must have done something wrong. As now Ukits and Lukin are starting to approach. They're going to try and push the 3 line here against FC Dynamo. But look at the damage. Ukits is not going to do much in this round. He's down to 119. Shuku clipping out on the guys driving down the 1-2 line. Lukin and Ukits trying to do something here. Shuku will go down for this, but at what cost for Isuba? I mean, look at their tanks. They're not healthy.
Again, 4,000 HP advantage here for Utopia. Shuku will fall soon. But it doesn't he even picked up over us. Oh my god, he might actually survive.
Somehow I doubt that Shuku's going to die as soon as he's still alive. And now Utopia starting to move towards the hill. Colossoid did take some damage, yes, in his Grilla from Lukin, from Ukets, but it's not enough for Isuba. They're 4,000 HP down, and they have no claim whatsoever on this round.
No, they really have nothing to do now. Froley will now try to push on Shuku. Let's see, will he pick up some damage doing so? Yeah, there we go.
The first connection comes out, Amraxim. The second connection comes out as well. Those are the Gorillas. Minus 1.5 on towards Froley. He might get Shuku. He does get Shuku, but now Tomasek left in a world of pain. He has 3 shots and a dream. Does one. Let's not hope he does the other one. But yes, he clips out on towards Muka, who doesn't even care at this point because they know they're going to kill him. And this is Isuba not having a strong start on this map either.
No, this was something that we thought might happen, but that's always possibilities. There was always one that they will actually manage to defend mines. I was really skeptical if they would pick up the attack, but in some cases, stats really don't lie. Isuba still has 0% on defense on the mines, and well, the attack is not getting any better, as we can see.
Nope, Lukin now getting crossfired from 2 sides, from the north and the south. He goes down towards 89 HP. He might go down actually before Ukets does, and now the Utopia's coming in. Dynamo claims 1, Lukin kills Papapavian. The RD actually, Colossoid picks Lukin up, as now Froley, the last man standing with a dream but no team, so it's just a meme.
Oh, mate, you're almost like a Shakespeare. Just almost.
Almost like we're close.
Shakespeare rhymes also.
We're like this close.
Yeah.
That was a decent rhyme. That was like a solid 5, to be honest.
So next map will be Ghost Town.
Mojo, Combat.
Best play ever.
Let's talk about it. Didn't really work out. I still stand by it.
I've seen the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. I think he was going like, can I die fast enough?
Mojo, you really got me on the edge here of a joke, but refrain yourself. Refrain yourself. But yeah, Combat there. I mean, if Utopia plays it like Ding, that E100 wants to get that connection out, don't look at me like that, towards the TVP, then he would get up on the 0 line. And he even got lucky because I think the Gorilla or the E100 missed him, but then the RT didn't.
Still, see, he got set on fire. That's a lot of bad karma there. But when you play blind, it's a huge risk, and it's really kind of a feature of teams that don't know what they want to do, actually. It was a huge risk, and it really definitely didn't pay off. And Dynamo, rather easy farming game here, 3.8k almost there, followed by Bihu Papa Pavian with really nice game in his RT. So Froley in his squad was actually the only guy who did some damage. He was on island, I believe.
Froley always manages to sneak in there somehow on the top spots. 2.2 from him, not bad, not bad. Shuku, 1,800, did his job, didn't have to do anything else, killed the guy coming down 1-2 line. Perfect play from him, pretty much. Now, I mean, the Suba tried something, but after losing Combat, who's going to have 0 damage, that we do know, they had no options available to them. Uket's only 512, Tomasek. That's his even now, Tomasek and Combat, Mojo.
Sad panda.
Feels bad, man.
He does, actually. I'm with you, Combat. I'm feeling you, bro. Please do some damage next round.
But now Ghost Town coming out between these two.
Ghost Town can go anyway.
I'm cheating on the stats.
They're pretty much similar. Utopia has a bit better.
So it should be a 1-1.
Yes, there is a high chance for that, but we know that this map actually favors the attackers usually. Still, it doesn't mean anything if the defender manages to take the fight to the attacker and take them off guard. It can be a good game for them.
I wonder how the next patch will affect the Udes and the position there, because will there be any Delta tank that can be put on the cap there? No, mouse doesn't really work there either. T95 and E3. T95 is just too big, I think.
I'm just looking forward to all ridiculous ideas that players will try to
for
play.
ridiculous ideas, I think I'm going to talk to Danny, like, Danny, my buddy, where do you see T95s working? Where do you see E3s working? Because with the speed buff, we might actually see them more.
We could, because
especially
they can try to
E3.
put them in a pocket, but we already see that's Gunrunners putting TDs in a pocket in attack and so on. But these are Esuba and Utopia, and they do have a different playstyles.
Yeah, let's take a look at the lineups between these two. Mojo, I just thought of something. Scorpion with an E3 behind it on the cap on Ghost Town.
We've seen Scorpion with a TD, as far as I remember, behind.
With a nice 7.
With i7 and with Jack Panzer if you were done.
That doesn't count. But AMX30 here for Utopia can be played on 2 ways, Mojo.
Utopia in defense, playing with one E100 and one Tier 9 VZ. And the prototype is usually pushed up on a hill so he can decap from high position, from high elevated position. But we've seen some teams actually like to press with this kind of lineup. I don't think they will do it against the Suba, who are playing the faster lineup than themselves.
Well, Mojo, let's find out if Utopia can put themselves on match point or if Suba is going to claim Ghost Town for themselves. Let's get into it.
Ghost Town. The first absolutely symmetrical map, made especially for 7 versus 7 games. The teams start the battle on opposite sides. There are numerous ways to attack here. One of the bases is located in the central square, the other one at the top of the city. The hardest battles are usually fought for the top base, and this calls for the use of heavy tanks. Sometimes the teams choose fast tanks for spotting and base capturing.
Well, Utopia versus Isuba, 3-1 here for Utopia, who are defending while Isuba goes on the attack.
Okay, like we can see the grouped positions here by Isuba going from the lower side of the map. They're trying to do super aggressive play, maybe catch Rulezik there. That's a kind of side push, or Bihu.
They are going straight for Biku Mojo, like you said, Froly and Combat. There's no support from Utopia right now. Actually, as I say that, Froly takes 2 connections, 3 connections. He goes down towards the one-shot as Biku is driving around the corner, dragging them out in the open. Great connections coming out here from Utopia, and the Suba paying very, very much for this.
And the problem is Bihu is still alive, and I seriously doubted that actually Combat can even take him out with the shells he has. So this is really not worthy for them. Combat will be on reload, Bihu will get shells before him. But if they just stay like this, he can take him out, of course. But I don't think Utopia will just wait and sit tight until he dies.
Dynamo tried to cross over to try and help, but he quickly decides that this is not a good idea for them, as Overus is actually sitting in that northern cap as Papa Pavian's like, okay, I'll go deal with RU.
Overus against Papa Pavian, well, you know who has a bigger gun here in this game. So that's not going to end well for him. And we have already Froly down for a Suba, so Utopia just has to play it slow and cover Bihu as best they can while they're closing their ranks.
At this moment in time, Utopia seems to be closing the distance here against Isuba, Mojo. And I think at this point, the engagement's about to start, and we should listen in with Isuba on how they're going to recover from this.
Tak budeme muset pušnout tady to, jako nemají tady nic. Nebo ujedeš?
Jako ujel jsem, no. Jede k vám.
To máš jako hodně dobrou pozici. Jedou. Ne?
Já tu mám toho krana.
Bacha, ta třicka furt je v boku, jo?
Jo, já už jedu dozad.
Kolik mají Bčka venku? Bčka jsou venku?
Moc nemají venku.
Koleso dvě venku má. Když se tam udržíte, Andrew,
Po druhý na treku, Mrakar. Nemá opravy.
Dej mu Luky na track, já za 10 klipů.
Nedám mu tracka, není nesklupím.
Luky netřou, dopředu.
Řekni, až vystřelí.
Na Andrew až ho míří.
Ryb,
vole. Jo, krakena na tak vole.
Jo,
Daj jenom ho vystřílel. On má jednu maximum.
Nabím. Dáme to? Se ne, ty vole.
No, to jsem zahořel, vole.
Hasičáky for the win.
Tady potřebuješ rádlo, ale.
Looked close there at one point, Mojo, but Ethiopia with the gun advantage with the double tier 9 managed to pull ahead.
Let's say also still Papa Pavian came from their back, so that's one combat damage dealer more. And we see the last struggle here of Suba. It did look close in one moment because once Bihu fell and he was only on one shot, and a lot of tanks from the lower side started taking damage like Colesoid. That was a bit needless, I would say, from Utopia's side. So Suba managed to come closer in HP, but still there was so much overwhelming tanks from Utopia coming from the upper side of the town where they had upper position above and they were doing constant damage. So Suba just didn't have enough juice to end the round.
Nice shooting from Utopia though in the beginning there when Froly and Combat cross. If they make it across both of them.
I was deleting of a tank from a game.
Yeah, if they make it across both of them, then they take down Bihu, and it doesn't matter that one of them is on a one-shot. They could still do the damage.
Again, Suba tried to do a blind push. Again, we already said that's kind of a move that the desperate teams do. This is not something I really like to see because I see it a bit as a weakness, but still, it can perform, it can work out. We've seen it happen multiple times. But this is the problem because they're on 11 points and Utopia is on 15. Theoretically, they should be close. But at the moment, Suba is playing like a scared team. And they should just fight. We've seen them fight during the season. We've seen them take the fight to the enemy, not like these kind of rushes.
Ukets doing very well there, but so did Combat, Mojo. They're the two players from Suba to break into that top 7. The Baraka are coming in doing 3K, and Papa Pavian, again, good performance throughout this game so far. Even Rulezik, which is usually not one of those players we see in those top 7 positions, coming in there, place number 4. Yeah, all around, not bad performance here.
My God, Froly.
Not having a good game.
Not having a good day. He will have to take some headache pills after this one.
Yeah, Ukets, Combats. I mean, our players are very close to each other looking at it. You're ahead a little bit. Just Just a little bit.
Just slight, but that doesn't really matter. Honestly, we would actually like Esuba to do much, much, much more.
Yep, I want them to pick up 3 more rounds at least.
Yes, that would be very nice, but currently it doesn't really look like so. I mean, this is already a match point for Utopia. Most of the games were rather fast, and they were for Utopia in their favor. It doesn't look like Esuba has how to fight against them.
Well, perhaps they'll show us how to do it on the defense, Mojo. You never know, because Ghost Town is one of those maps where we usually see the defender, well, sometimes we see the defender go very aggressive because it is hard as a defender to cover all your bases. It's like the thing the better teams are able to do. As maybe arguably a little bit weaker teams, sometimes we see them push forwards to try and take it towards the attacker to surprise them.
Still, but we have Utopia on the other side, who is also a team who likes to play aggressive, and we will not expect them to just throw it away easily. We did see some excursions they played with a couple of E100s, like 3 of them, and getting in some strange crossfires and dying so. But this game, it does look like they can just relax and play it slow and just see what will Esuba do, because Esuba likes to push super hard, and it does look like Utopia is aware of that.
Yeah, the question is, can Esuba do it? What tanks they're gonna pick and everything, and then we'll be able to decide. But right now, it's not looking good for them. 4-1 is a pretty decisive scoreline to come back from that and win. It would be 4 rounds in a row. That is...
Especially on Ghost Town and Steps.
Especially Steps.
Yeah.
Well, Mojo, it starts on Ghost Town, so let's take a look at the tanks they have chosen for their defensive side, that being Esuba. With double FE215B, I don't think they're going to be going very aggressive, but Utopia here with 3 batches. At least it's not 6 batches like last time, if you remember.
Yeah, that one was like a sick game, but I had great fun watching it, honestly. It was super fun. But that was their tiebreaker pick. Anyways, Utopia playing with a rather fast lineup here, we can see that. They can press any cap with this and just choose to run away from it. Esuba actually going for DPM version with those 2 FV heavies, but that's a rather risky one.
Older meta as well.
Yeah, because if it's really old meta, because if they get tracked anywhere, they burn easily, they lose Amorek easily, and they can get penned easily. So I don't know how much can this pay off, unless some other tanks take the brunt of the damage, but there are no other tanks who can take that kind of damage in their team.
There is not indeed. And let's get into it. The second round here on Ghost Town between Utopia and Esuba, where Utopia lead 4-1 on the attack. Esuba on the defense. I'm going to try and look and hold on. And where are all these bad shots going, Mojo?
Well, it does look like they're going toward the 1 cap area, but they're dispersing, and that's actually good, because that doesn't mean that they will not do a blind push. But look at this, Esuba is actually engaging them immediately.
Indeed, they are straight on towards them, but they're not pressing though. They're just making a little bit of a trap at UCATs, but they're not actually pressing all the way towards Utopia.
Yeah, Utopia might actually decide and just pick up all the tanks and go elsewhere on the other cap. They're certainly fast enough for that. Esuba position here like that will be an imminent cap pressure on cap number 1, and that would probably prove disastrous at this moment for Utopia, but Utopia, you can see it, they're already reorganizing.
Very true, Mojo. Look at these 3 batcha. Well, 3 batcha. Sorry, Marakar, you're not quite a batcha, but it's Shukur, Rulezik, and Marakar in his Tier 9 T54E1. Shukur, Rulezik already on the flanks here of the Esuba tanks, and how much can they do from here?
Well, they can do quite a lot, because Esuba will have to rotate left and right, and that will give some free shots to them. But of course, Utopia cannot accept any kind of direct fight here, because they have 0 armor on all of their tanks combined.
UCATS does spot them out in that batch shot, so the correct rotation being made for Esuba, getting the information they need, and Shukur Rulezik can't do much from here as Muka takes another connection on towards his Emil 2. Yes, it's a great hold-on tank, but it's not unpenetratable.
Especially when you turn a turret. But in this moment, still a bit stale game here, because Utopia must be very careful how they commit. They cannot really take, at the moment, close fight with Esuba, because the HP is rather same, and Esuba is of course trenched up, so they can cover each other well.
Some connections coming out here though from Shuku on towards Lukin, gets 1 but takes 1 in return, the second one didn't miss. And Mojo, don't you think right here there is a little bit of a potential here for Esuba, for Utopia to put 3 tanks on the cap with Shuku, Rulezik and Marakar perhaps?
There is, but they do seem to be scared to do it at the moment. I am not sure what actually Utopia wants to do now, because maybe they didn't expect a lineup like this from Esuba. I mean, this is super risky lineup by Esuba, but it may work against such a light lineup because they do have a great DPM. They can shoot them down really fast.
Might work indeed as Marakar takes even more, actually goes down towards 507. Takes a lot of damage for that play that they made there on towards the left side. He's now going to be forced to play a lot more passive in a tank that you want to put onto the front lines to do a clip and die pretty much. Now the base has started to be captured by Utopia, but I think it's a little bit too late at this point even.
But they have to do something to turn the game around. So, of course, they will try to use the advantage they have, and that's having a lot of clippers. If Esuba actually pushes in some bad spot, they can use that and then just scatter around and run away.
So, Rulezik's on the capture circle here. 1 minute and 30 seconds before that one is capped. But Esuba have the HP mojo. They have 2,500 more, and they have those DPM tanks. If they can close into Utopia without losing those FA215Bs, get the first reloads off of Utopia.
If they manage to close in to Utopia without losing a tank, and even if the HP is then equal, they will actually have advantage because they have more single shooters, and Utopia will have to run for it. They will have to run for it hard. But we've seen even when we played the game, Utopia played with 6 Bachats, even after losing 1. And even if it looked like really easy for them, they were really hard to kill after that. But here you go, the push is on.
The push is on indeed, and now it's the perfect time to listen to Utopia and how they're going to deal with this push.
Я убью этого. Нет, не убью.
Я себя огарну.
Я релоуд.
Я релоуд, 19
Мука, можешь уходить. Я тебя закрою.
Я уж я.
Подожди, ФВ.
На веже.
Он КД? У нас хватит КД, если что.
10 секунд mam, 10 sekund,
все нормально. У меня тоже типа так же.
8. Dobra, ja KD. Ja ci mogę dać. Dobra.
Он КД.
3.
Ты быстрее, да?
Рулес, tu bez masz do bicia, Рулес у меня.
Хорош.
Dobra, jedziemy.
Поехали убивать.
Да, на Б.
Все, поехали.
Dobra, все, GG.
Ну, нормально. 5 секунд, 5 секунд. 5 секунд.
O kurwa, udes. O kurwa. Diabł. O kurwa, udes.
Yeah, that Udes can still be annoying. He gets Golosoid even extending the fate for Isuba for just 10 more seconds or so when they find him and take him down. Combat, Mojo, you better hope he sets somebody on fire.
Two guys on fire.
Well, Bihu is going to make the climb, but before that, Shuku is already clipping out towards the Udes, and Combat goes out of siege mode. He's like, no, you can't hit me. I'm sorry.
Man, but
Bihu failed. Oh, Shuku gets the final kill, and that is it. That's 5-1 for Utopia. What a quick night.
Well, this is what we really said on the start of this game. Yes, they had an advantage, but if they want to kill Utopia, they will have to push in eventually, and they would have to do it so well that they don't lose a significant amount of tanks there. And we said this is the only way for Utopia actually to equal the odds. This is exactly what happened. Those FE heavies, if you remember what we said from the start, not the greatest push tanks at all. Easily tracked, easily penned, and we saw like at least 2 of them died immediately, like they never existed.
Yeah, the HP went from 2,000 up to like 2,000 down. So the clips got out for Utopia. The tanks from Misuba didn't get close enough. They didn't get the kills.
They didn't even kill a single tank.
So, yeah, it is RIP. We talked about it. We said it. Let's take a look at the stats and see how that one went, Mojo. As Shuku, Muka, Dynamo are our top 3. Then Combat coming out.
Yay!
For Isuba. Andrew, the second guy from Isuba. But a lot of Utopia on the first page.
Again, but this was once the push started, rather one-sided game, like completely in charge of Utopia from that moment on. And it just, the entire match doesn't leave like good impression. Same like the last one that Isuba played against Kazna and lost 5-0. It's really something they have to work on. They have still 2 matches this week. They will have to play Gunrunners and Ding, and yes, as they said, Gunrunners will be their main match. Tomaszek there, doing only 1 shot of damage.
Yeah, in a tank, an FE215B, which you arguably want to do TPM in, just getting one shot of damage is not really great there for certain people that might be working in this office. Right. Well.
Never heard you. What did you say?
But yeah, Suba is not good enough. But I do want to say, I mean, maybe they did keep some stuff because, like they said, Gunrunners is going to be their main fight because that is 6 versus 7. That is the fight.
Suba from the start in E3 said, our main goal for this season is survive. That means stay in top 6. Why in top 6? Because first and second go to season final straight, and then 3 to 6 are fighting each other for the last 2 spots. But still, the other guys who don't manage to get in those 2 spots, they still don't play the relegation. They stay for the next season, guaranteed. While the 7th team has to play the relegation matches with the newcomers from the silver and so on.
Yep, indeed. So, Suba maybe keeping some stuff for that Gunrunners match. Mojo, let's take a look at the post-match stats. Dynamo, I was going to say him as top damage.
You get! And combat on that page. Okay, not so bad.
Not so bad for Mojo. Never seen him this happy. But yeah, Mojo, combat.
Well, all 3 of us have UKITs.
Yeah, that's good.
So
you having
so
combat
shabby.
worked out for you. Man, I remember I sold combat. I had him, but then I wanted a different Ding player, and I sold combat.
Yeah, I was messing around with Ding players, and I realized I can like buy the combination I have at the moment for like to remain on $0.
Well, combat worked out for you there. All in all, good game for the Utopia players. Andrew working out as well there. Wait, I'm missing Tomasek.
Yeah, Tomasek is not on the first page here, but we had that situation last week with one player. But looking here, sitting firmly on his 14th spot. But still, at least, he's there.
Yep, he is there. He's on the sheet. I mean, it is something. Poor Ryan. But yeah,
Poor Tomasek, man.
They have 2 more matches, being Isuba. They have 2 more matches, being Ding. Ding arguably did a little bit better than Isuba today. Yes, true. Very true, Mojo. There was somebody, one lucky guy that managed to complete the quest and won an AMX 1375. I think Grand Finals is what it's called. Falatori. Congratulations. You'll have your tank in no time whatsoever. Give it a week, maybe a little bit more, but it will be in your garage. So enjoy that one. It's a pretty good tank. And Mojo, following up after that, let's take a look at the standings and how they have evolved after today.
Ding, as we said already, is number 1 currently. Same number of games played with GoHard, so they are that point ahead. Well, we will have to see the matches tomorrow, of course, because then we will see Kazna and so on. As far as I remember, yeah, oops, Kazna, GRS and so on, but never mind that. At the moment, Utopia is on 18 points, and they kept their kind of, loop together with the other guys ahead.
If Kazna lose and if Kazna Oops is played this weekend, right? If Kazna win and Oops, if Kazna lose and Oops win, everybody goes on 12 matches, and Oops would have 17 points, Utopia would have 18, and Kazna 22. That is not a difference that it's not overcomable.
That would cook up the things the way we would like.
Yes. That would...
we would like them all to be close and to have to fight in the, I don't know, last week.
Till the dying moments, till the last round, till the last
Nothing
game.
is guaranteed.
Exactly, Mojo. But we have some great matches tomorrow as well, so let's take a look at them and see. As I said, Oops versus Kazna Crew, an important match for the standings and how they evolve. And then Gunrunners versus Isuba, another very important match. Both of these are very important.
I would say Gunrunners and Isuba is probably
important.
Most important because both of these teams really need a victory here.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, it could affect those standings on 6-7 so much.
The last time they clashed, it was 5-4. It was just like this close. It was a tiebreaker game.
Last time they crashed, that was 5-0 for Isuba. It was 5-4.
Is this the third time they play?
Yeah, that was 5. It was 5-4 the first time, 5-0 the second time. This would be the third time, Mojo.
Our first time was 5-4.
Yep.
And the second time was 5-0. You're correct.
Thank you. Mojo, final thought of the day?
Things are cooking up, and I actually like it. And Mouse Meta is incoming. Fast rush.
Mouse Meta is incoming indeed. That was it for us for today. That was a very, very quick broadcast. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, the same place. So see you then and see you on the battlefield.